welcome to the stream. We're going to be flying. First flight of the day will be coming out of Halifax, Stanfield International, heading over to St. John's, domestic Canadian flight in the Boeing 777-200ER. We'll be flying over there with ATC courtesy of Vatsim. So let me just make sure everything's connected here. So we have our flight plan set up, Stanfield to St. John's. Some fuel, our route. We'll have 320 passengers on board, 15.7 tons of fuel. Let's have a look at the chart. So short flight today, pretty straightforward. A bit of weather, otherwise not too bad. So let's get the aircraft set up here. We'll get on the radios, get our clearance. Batteries on, external power, generators, utility, cabin, window heat, emergency lights. Alright, let's get some lights on. Let's get some air circulation. Let's get the engine ready for start. So far so good. So, let's sip a coffee. We're going to pull our flight plan from SimBrief here. We're going to do it the quick way. Before loading the aircraft, we will go ahead and get some cabin lights going. And let's make contact with the crew. Sail over the cursor. The radio's on.
Good day. Hope you are all doing well today.
Good day. Ready over here.
Good day.
Excellent.
Good day. Ready.
So let's get into touch with the ground team. Just say hello. Whoops.
Good day. Hope you are all doing well today.
Hello, sir.
Alright, so now we can let's get the aircraft loaded based on the SimBrief information. Load
Sir,
the aircraft.
they brought a new load sheet.
Excellent. So from here we can start working the box. FMC. Okay, so grab our GPS position. Whoops. Our route today, Halifax, CYHZ. To St. John's, CYYT. Running flight number Air Canada 11, call sign. And we'll most likely be taking off on runway 22. We might be going away. Departures, there's only one departure, so we'll write that down. Halifax 4. We'll have a look at that departure in a sec. Okay, runway 23, route, activate. Good. So let's have a look at the route. Okay, so direct to YHC. From there, direct ITAS. From there, direct NOTOP. From there, we will take airway Q806. Excellent. And then from there will be direct Curlew. And then to Curlew. Next, we will have the arrival of Burn 5. So let's execute that. Let's go into here. Arrival, we'll set Burn 5 unless otherwise notified by ATC. And unless otherwise notified, we will also plan for runway 16. Let's just put the ILS in for now. Very good. So now let's have a look at the legs page. Everything looks like it makes perfect sense. Okay, in this approach. Perfect. So let's get some of the performance in. Takeoff weight will be 474 tons. The reserves 6.0. Cruising altitude flight level 350. With a cost index of 15. Excellent. Let's have a look at the let's have a look at the takeoff performance. So we will be creating the takeoff based on the runway. Takeoff 1, cell temperature 2, 52. Takeoff flaps 5. RCG over here is around that 28. The winds in Halifax 220-07 from Ada's Hotel. Outside temperature 5. Okay, got our takeoff speeds. Everything looks good. Let's run the performance on this side. Perfect. Set initial climb speed 250 knots. We'll align the heading with the runway 233. Excellent. And we'll brief the departure, but I'm pretty sure initial climb will be 5,000. Perfect. So let's have a look at the departure. There's only one available. So, Halifax for departure. Runway 23, climb heading 233 or assigned vectors, maintain 5,000. So we'll go with that. So, let's get on the radios here. Let's turn on our APU. So we'll be tuning into Halifax ground 121.9. Oops, sorry about that. All right, here we go. So let's tune into ground. Halifax ground. Good morning, Air Canada 11 Heavy with you from ramp 14. We're looking for clearance to St. John. A hotel on board.
Air Canada 11 Halifax ground, you are cleared to St. John's International Airport. Via Halifax for departure. You're going to be flying your planned route today. Depart runway 23, and you're going to be clocked 4302.
Roger that. I'm cleared via the Halifax for departure, runway 23, flight plan routes, walking 4302 for Air Canada 11 Heavy.
Air Canada 11 Heavy, read back is correct. Push back and decide that discussion advised when you're ready to taxi.
Roger, we'll call back for taxi, Air Canada 11 Heavy. Alright, so we're basically cleared exactly what we have set up in the box, so that's good news. 4-3 on the squawk, 4-3-0-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain and crew would like to welcome
Perfect.
you on board
So let's
this
get that
Boeing
APU
777
going.
airliner.
And then
We
let's
ask
ask the
that you
purser
please
after
fasten your
announcement to go
seatbelts
ahead
at
and
this
shut
time
the
and
doors.
secure all baggage underneath your seat or in the overhead compartments. We also ask that your seats and
Close
table
doors.
trays are in the upright position for takeoff. Please
Doors
turn
will
off all
close.
personal electronic devices, including laptops and cell phones. Smoking is prohibited for the duration of the flight. Thank you for choosing Flight Factor.
Okay, now we gotta
Very
wait
well.
for the PA to actually be done. Let's arm the doors.
All doors to armed mode.
Yes, sir. All doors are armed and checked. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the crew,
Excellent.
I ask that you
Now let's
please
talk
direct
to
your
ground.
attention to the monitors as we review the emergency
Let's ground
procedures.
to
There are 8 emergency exits
go
on
ahead
this
and remove all
aircraft.
ground equipment.
Take a minute to locate the exit
Go ahead
closest to you.
and disconnect all
Note that the
ground
nearest
equipment.
exit may
Got
be
it.
behind you. Count the number of rows to this exit. Should
We'll
the
ask them
cabin
to go ahead and
experience
close
sudden pressure
all
loss,
hatches
stay
and
calm and
doors.
listen for instructions from the cabin crew. Oxygen
Close all
masks will
hatches.
drop down
We are
from
ready to
above your seat.
pressurize.
Place the mask
Pressurize
over your
away,
mouth
sir.
and nose. Pull the strap to tighten it and breathe
Okay,
normally.
let's prep the hydraulic
Make sure
systems.
that your own mask is on first before helping
So
others.
now we have a look
In the
outside.
unlikely
All the
event
doors
of
are
an
closed.
emergency
Everything looks
landing
good.
and
We are
evacuation,
basically
leave your
ready for the
carry-on
pushback. Let's
items
get on the phone
behind.
with ground again.
Life vests are located below
wait
your
for it to
seats,
clear.
and emergency lighting will lead you to your closest exit and slide. We ask that you make sure that all carry-on luggage is stowed away safely during the flight. While we wait for takeoff, please take
Halifax
a moment
Crown
to
Air
review
Canada
the
11
safety
Heavy
data
with
card
you
in the seat
from
pocket
Ram
in front of
14
you.
Halifax on board, ready
Thanks
for
you,
push and start.
and enjoy the flight.
Aircraft, say again, the transmission cut out halfway there.
Sorry about that. Air Canada 11 Heavy, ready for push and start from ramp 14.
Air Canada 11, pushback is at your discretion, and just advise when you're ready to taxi there.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, call for taxi. Okay, so the pushback is at our discretion. Not a whole lot of options here for the runways, so we're going to be pushing back to the left. So let's go ahead and get that started. Push back to the left.
Guys, we are ready for the pushback.
Set the brakes,
Get one of
sir.
the engines started here.
Park brake set.
Okay, so here we are. Here's the card. Whoa. Straight car here. Let's see if that works.
Release brakes.
Perfect. So let's get back into here. We're gonna have to bring in the fuel mixture. Release the
Parking
brakes.
brake is released.
Getting it cranking, sir.
Bring in the fuel pumps. So we can start to push back here. Move on direction. That engine's coming online. The engine, the parking brake is off. Not sure.
Ready for taxi, runway 23, Alpaca 79 kilo. 79 kilo, runway 23, wind 220 at 7, altimeter
Gee, Mars,
297,
sneeze.
taxi
We're gonna
at your discretion.
shut that engine
Golf,
down.
Foxtrot, cross runway 14,
Just so I realize.
Lima, hold short 23, and be advised of Boeing 777 pushing back ahead.
The tug is unable.
Okay, taxi via Golf Foxtrot, across runway 14 left, and hold Lima, then hold short runway 23.
First time I'm having so much trouble with the pushback here. This doesn't make any sense.
Please set the brakes.
Parking brake set. Thanks, see you at the hand signals.
Where is the tug? Okay, let's start this again.
Pushback is done.
I would like to see the pin, please.
Clear, sir. Pin removed.
Thanks.
See you next time, sir.
Thank you. Wave off.
Okay, waving him off.
Okay, now let's start the pushback. This is ridiculous. Usually never want to be starting your engines from the gate. Some issues with that pushback function. Let's get this engine powered up here. Get the next engine number 1 going. Get about 20% into.
700 Kilo, contact center 132.2. Have a great flight.
Get those on. Get some hydraulics on. Takeoff trim 4.5.
Contact 132.2. Good day.
Perfect. So we got our engines running. Got the hydraulics on. Strobes are on. Everything else seems to be working just fine. Okay, since our pushback is a bit wonky, we're gonna see if we can get the aircraft to back up with the reverse thrust. do that. I should have taxied properly. I mean, the pushback app was not really working properly with this model. So I'll just do this and then reconnect as if nothing ever happened. And we'll resume as if possibly due to a failed DNS lookup. Okay, now all of a sudden I can't connect. Let's restart Xplane.
You're still on Halifax ground.
Okay, we are back. And select flaps 5. Give me all of throttles are live. Halifax ground, Air Canada 11 Heavy with you, ready for taxi.
Air Canada 11 Halifax ground, runway 23, wind 220 at 7, altimeter 297.1, taxi apron at your discretion, Golf, Foxtrot, cross 14, Lima, hold short 23.
Roger that. Taxi via Golf Foxtrot, cross 14 Lima, hold short 23. Okay, so what we're gonna do is very simple. Golf Foxtrot Lima, Golf Foxtrot Lima, hold short 23. Let's get it. So they might give us a quick clearance here for takeoff. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and shut down the EPU. Oops. And we got our flaps config. Everything seems to be configured.
Caution, taxiway. Caution, taxiway.
Bit quick here on the apron.
Caution.
Should slow down a bit. So we are indeed cleared. Wait, hold on. Whoops. Whoa. Oh yeah, cross runway 14. Wait a second. We went the wrong way. Oh shoot. Oh no. We went the wrong way. No harm done. Should have caught that though. Guys taking off. Alright, so we are finally on Golf. We will make the left turn onto Foxtrot. And on the other side of the runway, that becomes Lima.
Approaching 1-4.
Good afternoon, Peter 02. Let's pick up the IFR at 60. 2, Halifax ground. You are clear to Digby Airport.
That was a
Halifax
poor-
Port departure. Flight plan route for runway
taxi.
23, squawk 4304.
All right, so let's. Hello. What the heck? And I push the talk now.
I would like to remind you, the no smoking sign is off.
Passenger seatbelts, no smoking sign, anti-ice on. The
Ram
rest looks
turbine
pretty good.
switch.
Speeders are 2, did you receive that?
On the line.
Sir, the cabin is secured and safety briefing has been completed.
For some reason, my push to talk all of a sudden isn't working. What the heck? Let's disconnect and reconnect here. I am having tons of issues today with Xpilot. Not sure what the heck is going on.
To Digby Airport, you Halifax Port departure. Flight your planned route. Depart runway 23, squawk 4304.
It's like I don't have a mic connected or something.
Digby Halifax Port, plus loaded up 23, squawk 4304.
Audio, speaker, headset, my mic is working.
Speeders are correct. Back in the discretion. Advise when you're ready to taxi.
Halifax ground, do you read me? Air Canada 11 Heavy.
Sir, what about the no
Canada
smoking
11 there.
sign?
Yeah, I can get you here. Did you receive the handover?
I guess I must have missed it. I thought my client to Vatsim wasn't working, but it is. Do I transfer to center?
Canada 11, yeah, I just think you might have missed that there. Sorry about that. Center is 132.2. Have a great flight.
No worries. Thank you very much. 132.2. Okay, so let's go over to 132.2. Hello, center. Canada 11 Heavy with you, holding short, runway 23, Halifax.
Canada 11. Welcome to Center today. The Halifax winds 270 at 9. Call me airborne. Runway 23, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, Air Canada 11. Okay, so let's get this show on the road.
Approaching 2,
Put the brake
3.
to rejected takeoff.
Air France 698, welcome to Center today. Recycle transponder, squawk 3127.
On runway 2, 3.
Okie dokie, so here we go. $120 knots. We'll steer with the rudder pedals. There we have it, V1.
Ocean 5-4. Actually, I think I lost your flight plan. Can you refile, please?
Pull up to 15 degrees. At a positive rate, we'll bring up the landing gear.
Air France 698, that's 3127.
Beautiful day. Let's just trim the aircraft just a bit. Not much at all. Light up the flight directors.
Air France 698, dead in Requesting flight level 348, the Halifax
Stick
information
with the
in
flight.
ES is now
Stick
current
vector.
altimeter 2970. This is 10,000. Air France 698, the descent 10,000.
Air Canada 11 Heavy with you. 3,500 to 5,000 on the vector.
Air Canada 115, turn left direct ECTAS on course, climb flight level 350.
Climb level 350, direct ICTAS, Air Canada 11 Heavy. So let's just go up 350. Let's hit the autopilot. Nav, direct ICTAS. Perfect, we'll bring out the flaps. Beautiful day today in Halifax. So we're gonna go up to the
Roger, recycle transponder, Fox 3130, please.
bring up the last notch of flaps.
Saturday, 02, 3000, so we'll pull you right. Be there 02. Look to center, the Halifax
said
winds
250.
280 at 8. Call me airborne, clear for takeoff, runway 23 from Delta. You got to take off 23 from Delta, call airborne. Ocean 54, identified for level 380, welcome aboard.
Aligning ourselves with heading 34.
Speedbird 6 November Charlie, Mountain Center. Go ahead. Speedbird 6 November Charlie, leaving Iron Space to the west. Surveillance service terminated. Change our frequencies. Have a great day. Okay, yeah. Well, thank you very much for the ATC. Have a good day. Speedbird 6 November Charlie, away.
Alright, here we are in the air.
Air France 698, the Halifax landing runway 23, say request approach.
Leaving Halifax, heading to St. John's.
Our requested approach is Air France 698. Center speeder 02 is airborne altimeter 2,100, climbing 5,000. Speeder 02 identified, turn right direct to Muxel on course, climb to flight level 220.
So we're looking good here. For some reason it's stopping at 5,000. We're gonna click flight level change. It's gonna climb us up.
Air France 698, on bed?
There we go as we begin to climb through the clouds here in Halifax. Let's have a look. Getting a call from the purser.
Listening.
Captain, we are already here. Safety briefing has been read. Cabin is secured.
Sir, Ombed is like 40 miles behind you. The approach. Halifax is landing runway 23. We have the LS runway 23. We have the RNAV Zulu or Yankee runway 23. Air France 678, Roger, you can expect the LS
We are
runway
looking
23
good
approach
here.
into your transition, clear direct due to your descent to 4,000.
Soaring through the clouds. So we're climbing right now at a rate of 250 knots. Once we hit 10,000 feet, we'll speed that up to around 280 knots.
is 40 miles behind you.
280 knots should do.
Okay, airfront 698, clear direct due tier. Expect the ILS runway 23 approach due tier transition. Roger, airfront 698, so you can expect the ILS runway 23 approach due tier transition. Clear direct due tier.
This is.
Could you provide that for us in the text?
Where am I?
Airfront 698, roger.
Like, got this weird view here where. Oh, did they finally model the bathrooms? Okay. We are outside. Not a bad view, I'll save that. Amazing. Now that I'm actually out here.
Hey, Mountain, Peter, let's stop calling flight level 180 on Tuesday.
Star Alliance livery is very nice.
Peter 02, can you slip 200? I don't think 8180 is not available to kill center. Oh, yeah, Roger.
It's a decent view, let's save that.
Peter 02, soft climb at flight level 200.
Great model of the pilots there. It's a nice low view. Save that.
Lufthansa 444, Mountain Center.
We're moving over the ground.
Lufthansa 444, leave my airspace to the west. Surveillance service terminated. Change on frequencies. Have a great day.
Alright, so go over to the progress page. We are tracking ACTAS 2 nautical miles and then to no top. Looking good on the profile.
29 Golf, welcome, sir. You too.
Alright, so we're going to change over to standard
By
altitude.
Buxel, I'll assume you want the RNAV runway 24 approach?
Yeah, we'll be looking for the RNAV 24 and top settings.
Okay, so this is the view.
02, Roger, you can expect the RNAV runway 24 approach from via Buxel. When ready, descend 1,900, the Greenwood altimeter 2972.
Okay.
We're already down to 1900 and 2972 here with you.
Okay, so 4, 6.
Actually, speed 002, I think you're much
4, 6,
closer.
and 7
Yarmouth
are
altimeter
3.
2975.
2975, transition friction speed of 30.
What a huge aircraft.
CYHZ, unfortunately, I have to disconnect.
86, roger. Have a great day.
Thank you. Also, bye.
Okay, and we got disconnected for having low frames. Network address null. That's so weird. Every time I disconnect, I gotta. Reconnect before ATC realizes what the heck happened. Very nice clouds. Very nice. Oh yeah, very nice clouds on Xplane. I think we all know that. So are we going tracking no top, heading 77. Let's just set that. Excellent. We are climbing 35,000 very comfortably. Let's kill the auto throttles. Let's pick this up at full speed. All throttles disconnected. Oh, we are definitely okay with that. Pick up a little bit of lights. Very good. So everything's looking good. Climbing 280 knots. 7 degrees pitch. We are on track.
116 Juliet, Mountain Center. Good day. Recycle transponders. Clock 3132.
3132. 6
So this is what we look like. Right on track. Pushing jumps.
Air France 698 cleared ILS runway 23 approach due to your transition. Report on final.
Okay, so we're still climbing here. We'll level off when it comes time. We can do a PA welcoming.
Ladies and gentlemen, I, the captain, would like to welcome you on board.
Center, November 116 Juliet, looking for step
My
away
first
from
officer and I hope you have a lovely and
November 116 Juliet, identified for level 3990. Approved. Let me know when you're back.
Beautiful day for flight. Looking out my window, I see some folks carrying home a Christmas tree. It's just always a bit worrying, you know, try not to burn down your house with that. Alright, still got some ways to go before we reach our destination. So far everything is looking just fine. We can do a systems checkup here. Fuel doesn't look like it. Hydraulics.
Return 46 Golf, Mountain Center. Good day.
Electrical systems
Halifax
also
wind
looking normal.
300 at 9. Call me airborne, runway 2, be clear for takeoff.
Oops, doors.
take off for the 23
Fine. It's a bit chilly in the cabin. Bring up the temperature a bit there. Like that. Think about I'm not that warm. Bring on the shoulder heat, foot heat. It's starting to warm up in there.
Speeder 02 cleared RNAV runway 24 approach, look south.
Get the passengers a little bit more
Monitor
comfy.
Zigbee Unicom for the approach, call me this frequency down the clear.
Perfect. We'll run them out. We'll go run them out. So as we get closer, we will start to brief the approach. We're still a bit far away for that. Alright, so we've just reached our cruising altitude, 35,000. So let's bring the auto throttles back on so the aircraft doesn't overspeed. And let's just accelerate this bad boy to around 0.88 Mach. So, very good. We can take our seatbelt signs off, and we can make a PA announcing that we have reached our cruise.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently cruising at our assigned altitude. The weather outside is acceptable and we should make our destination at just about the scheduled time. I hope you are enjoying the flight.
Sorry, 46 Golf identified. Turn left direct as on course, climb flight levels 330.
You're looking for maybe a plug-in Xplane12
2250 line on wait runway 23 via Echo. Line up at wait 23 via Echo Air Canada 2250.
X camera. Wow, look at X camera out there. By Stick and Rudder Studios. Stick and Rudder Studios.
Home airborne runway 23 from Echo clear for takeoff. 23 from Echo clear for takeoff. We'll call airborne Air Canada 2250.
This plugin for Xplane12 is a replacement camera just lets you define multiple view categories, and multiple views within those categories are associated with specific aircraft. X camera also supports airport cameras that can be positioned at gates, towers, runways, and along taxiways. Wow. We'll have a look at that.
Air France 698, continue approach, number 1 for your field after 1 departure.
I like this view, this forward with 2D for fighter jet flying. So we're looking good here. We're cruising around 0.887, just under the limit of the plane. We are now flying to our destination from cruise. Across the pond, huh?
Air France 698.
Crazy. It's not that far. We're looking into Europe right now. Small world. It's a small world.
Canada 2250 airborne path 1600. Canada 2250, Moncton Center identified.
ATC doesn't have much to say to us today.
Climb 12000. Moncton Airport, climate
Look at these reflections. Wow. That is just impressive. These reflections are just beautiful. These are nice reflections from the sun.
Last call sign only.
We're looking good here from Halifax to St. John's.
American 303, Moncton Center today, recycle transponder, squawk 3133.
They've done, they've just updated the model of the way the engines move at low speed, so I don't know if that's any different here, but it's not a torpedo tube. We are looking just fantastic here. We open the doors.
Air Canada 698, after the landing A321, line away runway 23 via Echo.
So we'll be approaching our top of descent in about 180 miles.
615. Air Canada 615, after the landing A321, line up right runway 23.
Line up runway 23, Air Canada 615.
Yeah, target speed. Fuel used. The temperature up here. Current wind. No top.
France 698, welcome to Halifax. Vacate right when able. Contact ground 121.9er. Have a great day.
Whoops, that's still not on. Okay. Back to the progress page.
American 3003, identified flight level 400, welcome aboard.
Good stuff. So we'll have a look at the approach speed shortly. Do those calculations, get those calculations ready.
American 303 X-ray, identified flight level 400.
Roger, I'll make them with exit.
Air Canada 615 to Halifax, wind 300 at 7. Call me airborne, runway 23 from Echo, clear for takeoff.
Not this, just looks
Look, I went airborne, clear for takeoff 23.
I don't think Microsoft had some of this, but it was. Just very graciously flying across the sky. Alright, what's going on? Looks like we're getting a bit of, what's the auto throttle doing? Must have a tailwind. Yeah, we do have a tailwind.
Call is unreadable.
So let's just get the speed under control before talking to the purser. See what she has to say.
Did you want something?
Sir, should
Yeah,
I
we're
bring you
about
some
160 miles from our top of descent now. Looking pretty good.
Martin Center, wind 5 to horizon check.
Raise you 1 by 5.
Air Canada 615, airborne paths of 2.
Air Canada 615, identified, turn right direct 70 on course, climb flight level 340.
Right direct 78, flight level 340, American at 615.
Trying to get the stream going on. Okay, settings. I'm just looking at something here. Okay, so that should be good.
And Challenger, what T-shirt Mike's approaching top of descent. November 120 Mike, descend 10,000, the Deer Lake altimeter 2963. Alright, 10,000, 2963, Challenger 120 Mike. Xplane expects 288, Mountain Center.
Good afternoon. Are you doing clearance delivery?
I think for that you need to contact Halifax ground 121.9er.
Express 288, thank you.
Mountain Center, November 116, Juliet, back with you.
Number 1160, Juliet, welcome back.
Connor 2016, request 109 for cockpit.
Condor 2016, you're leaving airspace to the west. Turbulence service terminated. Change on frequencies. Have a great day.
Roger, frequency change approved. Have a good day. Bye-bye, Connor 2016.
Alright. Everything's looking fine.
Speeder 02, your flight plan is now closed. Turbulence service terminated. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Let's see how far along we are on our flight here. It's about halfway. Almost.
November 120, Mike, do you have a preferred approach in Deer Lake?
November 120, Mike, we're looking for the ILS runway 25 if possible.
Sir, it's really a pleasure to fly.
Roger, you can expect the ILS runway 25 approach. Do you have your own transition, or do you want me to give you one?
Challenger, Mike, Roger, we'll expect the ILS runway 25, and we can take Nugget and do the procedure turn if that works for you.
Okay, November 120, Mike, you can expect the ILS runway 20 approach full procedure. Clear direct Nugget, descend 2,000.
Right, Challenger, 120, Mike, direct Nugget down to 2,000.
Interpretari, full squad. Sorry, 46 Golf Flight Center.
Secretary, full squad.
Sorry, 46 Golf. I cleared you to 330.
My bad, sir. 230, Secretary.
Poor guy is getting roasted here by ATC.
Aircraft 2050, we're 2 miles from top of the fence. Aircraft 2050, descend 4,000, debunk to altimeter 2968, so your request approach. 4,000, Aircraft 2050, and we're thinking the RNAV Zulu to 4-man transition. Aircraft 2250, Roger, you can expect the RNAV Zulu, runway 24 approach, Menvu transition, clear direct Menvu, descend 4,000. Roger, we'll expect that direct Menvu, descend 4,000, Air Canada 2250.
203, level 400, inbound Lomsey.
American 203, Moncton Center, good day, recycle transponder, squawk 3135.
3135, American 203.
Longboat 70 Alpha, Moncton Center. Air Canada 2250, cleared on our runway, cleared on our still runway 24, approach Membu transition. Report on final.
Cleared on our Zulu 24, Membu transition for report final, Air Canada 2250.
American 203 is in flight on level 400, welcome aboard.
Thanks.
Longboat 70 Alpha, Moncton Center. Speedbird 178, Moncton Center.
Hi, give me to advisory.
Moncton 7, ready for descent. Papa 79 kilo.
Instructor 79 kilo, descend 10,000, to St. John's altimeter 2979er.
Descend to 10,000.
Speedbird 178,
Trying to get this.
oh yeah, Speedbird 178, monitoring Unicom 122.8, have a good day.
Fox Center, Logan Peter 02, off DB. Like the Christie, Alpha 5 for Alpha.
Speeder 02, Moncton Center, good day, clear to, correction, Speeder 02, squawk
Only
edit.
by 1080.
02, identified passing 5,700, clear to the Halifax Aerodrome, or Halifax Airport, via present position direct T-tar, climb maintain flight level 190.
Clear Halifax position direct T-tar, climb 190, Peter 02.
Hopefully this works. So we've been connected for 30 seconds and it hasn't disconnected from kick. That's a good sign. Been trying to stream more Xplane with kick, but it always disconnects. So I adjusted my restream to 1080p so I can stream kick in 1080p and YouTube in 4K. And it kept disconnecting, and when it didn't disconnect, my client to connect to the network with the ATC was like all choppy. I spent days trying to troubleshoot it. It was brutal. Anyway, so far it looks like the problem has gone away, which is good because I kind of like the stream with the kick platform.
You want the localizer or RNAV Zulu?
Uh-oh, I can hear my client starting to get choppy
02
again.
clear direct Oddcast, expect the RNAV Zulu runway 05 approach, Oddcast transition.
Alright, so we're looking pretty good. We're going to be getting to our top of descent pretty soon. We're cruising at our cruise altitude of 35,000 feet, just under the aircraft's top speed here. Still got that tailwind, so we don't want to push the aircraft to this limit, so we don't overspeed too easily.
79 kilo, the St. John's wind 2409.
So definitely experiencing issues with the Vatsim sound.
Excuse me, say it again. Alpaca 79 kilo, the St. John's winds right now 240 at 7. Any requested approach right now?
No, I haven't requested approach. Approach runway 16. 79 kilo.
Alpaca 79 kilo, roger. You can expect the LS runway 16 approach.
So we're looking pretty good here. The clouds on that 112 look amazing.
Alpaca 79 kilo, expect RNAV.
And then goes some
approach transport transition.
at 55 speed.
3000.
Runway LS 16 via 7 section, descend 1000.
Alright, so next stop, Hurlu, 114 nautical miles. They want us at 14,000, 15,000 feet.
Deliver 1 kiss your mic, cleared. Runway 25 approach, full procedure. Monitor dear radio for the approach, report me frequency down to clear. Right, Challenger 1 kiss your mic, cleared for the
The voice on Vatsim is really choppy. This, still trying to fix this issue. It only happens when I stream on kick.
Another IFR deal. Alright, kiss your mic, roger. Speeder 02, when ready to send 3000, the Halifax altimeter 2970, information Juliet.
3000,
So, getting to the top of the sun.
2250, we're getting mile 5024.
Progress on
Aircast 2250, debunked and winds 270 at 8, clear to land, runway 24.
Clear to land, runway 24 at Canada 2250.
Getting close here to St. John's Newfoundland. Getting ready to land the plane. We can already start briefing the arrival. We're most likely going to come in here onto runway 16. Let's just program the ILS. Add to route. So our last waypoint will be Ahmed. We'll make that turn.
Pointed center, November 116
right
here,
down
Juliet.
the runway.
Just for your planning, we did not file it originally, but we're planning the Tiger 4 arrival for the ILS 28 into St. John.
November 1160, Juliet, roger. The active is 16 right now, but I check your request.
We've switched to 16, it's fine. November 6.
So we're getting close to the top of descent. When we reach that, we'll start, we'll probably get clearance from ATC to start descending into St. John's.
11 heavy, the St. John's information Juliet is now current, landing runway 16, descend 10,000, altimeter 2979er.
Roger that, for Canada 11 Heavy, we'll plan for runway 16, descending to 10,000. Thank you. So he wants us down to 10,000.
Alpha 79er, kilo, clear, Pesto.
Let's start descending the aircraft here. Right.
Clear direct, Pesto, Alpha 7 and kilo.
Pull back on the throttles. Throttle. Get the aircraft descending. Alright. Right down to 10,000. Let's get the seatbelt signs back on in the cabin. Seatbelt signs on. Restart APU. Alright, so turn down at idle speed, obviously. Curlers lining up with heading 90. Let's go ahead and measure it up. Switching over, no, good. Still having. Maybe we should be going over to Gander Control, but it's still the same guy from Moncton, so. Descending into the clouds here.
Mountain Center, good evening, orbit 52, after departure, passing 6,500 feet.
Orbit 52, continent.
I'll allow the plane to speed up just a bit.
Orbit 52.
Orbit 52, identified passing 7,100, continue climb flight level 280, clear direct, Yankee Mike Hotel.
Still have that tailwind, so we don't want to accelerate the aircraft too quickly on the descent here.
Continue climbing 280, clear direct.
And he cleared us to go down to 10,000. It's a bit early for the descent in my opinion, but you do as ATC says, right? So the local altimeter in St. John's is 2971, so when we get low enough to switch off standard barrel, not standard barrel, we'll go and put in the local altimeter for that. So we're in the clouds here. In the soup, as they say. Looking good though.
Thank you.
And Boeing 777-2 we are.
Mountain Center, 280. Canadian Express 280, Moncton Center.
Really having issues though with the Vatsim
The Halifax wind 280 at 7, call me airborne, clip for takeoff for 123.
Backled quite a bit.
Takeoff 23. Air Canada 2250, welcome to Moncton, vacate right on Echo enable, taxi Echo to the apron. Right on Echo and then straight to the apron, Air Canada 2250.
so we're descending quite nicely here.
Halifax Center, Clipper 422, flight level 350, 1 mile from the Tusky waypoint.
So let's have a look at the landing performance for this airport. The runway will be taking is runway 16. The actual landing distance is 4,924 feet, which is should be alright. It's not the longest runway. It's actually quite short. They're asking us to use max auto brakes on the landing with reverse thrusters, and we'll be doing a flaps 30 landing. So we'll get that in the box. Aside from that, the runway condition right now is wet, so you got to keep that into account when using brakes, so you don't skid off the runway. Fun fact, these are the largest engines ever fitted onto an airliner. The Boeing 777. Let me get the name of those engines, suppose I forgot. The engines they fit on these were the world's largest twin jet. Yeah, it uses, there is available engine options for the Boeing 777-200, the Pratt & Whitney PW4070, Pratt & Whitney 49, and the other Rolls-Royce Trent 877, Trent 895. And the General Electric 977.
Identified turn right there. No slope on course climb, flight level 240.
Okay. I think we're running the G's, but I'm not 100% sure. So how do we look?
Spring 02, turn right heading 140 for traffic.
Flying in the ILS here. Let's see if the weather is good. I'll be flying by hand on the approach. If weather is bad, then we'll descend on the ILS until we have the airport in sight, the runway in sight. If we don't have the runway in sight at all, then we'll do an auto run. But looking at the weather, it looks like we will be breaking out of the clouds at some point. So we'll just keep the descent going. Everything looks good. Everything feels good. It's only a bit of a dark mix. Just gonna light up the panel a bit more. There we go. Perfect, so we'll get out the standard barometer settings and we're going to, in the local altimeter, which is 2971, we'll adjust that. There we go. Backup insurance, 2971. Excellent.
39er requesting frequency change because we are leaving your airspace. American 39er mod, surveillance service terminated, monitor Unicom 122 decimal. Monitor Unicom 122. Thank you for the ATC, it's really good to have good ATC. Have a good day. Speed 02, I can't really clear you for the approach now because I have an unconfirmed target on the end of the threshold of runway 05. Would you like to hold and Outcast?
I cancel the IFR, proceed individual.
Sure, IFR cancellation is received. Clear straight in runway 05.
Got it, clear straight in 05, and we'll just keep an eye on that.
Alright, so we're descending here out of the soup. Whoops.
Air Canada 615, surveillance service terminated, change on frequencies, have a great day.
We're going to come Air Canada 615.
Hitting a bit of turbulence here. We might as well slow down the aircraft so we don't accidentally go into the red there and overspeed a bit just because of the tailwind coming from heading 243. We got a tailwind here, so I'm going to push us into the overspeed. I think if we just maintain, we can stick to what's in the box, 310 knots. We're recommending 301 here, so keep it like that. They're already a bit low since ATC just told us to go down to 10,000 feet. We could be around 15,000 feet at Pearl, but we'll just hold 10,000 when we get there. Got the approach set up for the right side.
Alpaca 79 Kilo, cleared ILS runway 16 approach, past the transition.
It's a number of times. Hydraulics.
Runway 16,
Electronic systems also looking good.
Speed at 0 to the Halifax wind 290 at 6. Decliner runway 05, traffic still factor.
Everything looks closed. Doors are closed, pressurized, on. Excellent. Engine performance.
42 identified for level 350, welcome aboard.
Normal.
Roger.
Everything looks normal. So, like I said before, the runway is fairly short. Looking at the landing performance, we're going to be using max auto brakes with reverse thrusters. We're trying not to use any toe braking. We're going to probably be taking off again after, so we don't want the brakes to get too hard. Everything else here looks good. The APUs were turned on. Whoops. The ice is on. We'll bring on the lights when we're closer to the approach. We're going to be leveling off here at 10,000 feet. So I'll put 1 0.
Number 1 Mike, roger. IFR pipeline is closed. Service created. And Challenger 1 appreciate that. We're looking for an extra IFR. File for you. November 12
Start left turn at Hurley.
Do you still want to report 25?
Tracking.
November 120 Mike. The Golden Aerodrome via the Deer Lake 9 departure. En route, depart runway 25, squawk 3124.
So at 10,000 feet, we're basically right under the that thicker ceiling there. Maybe that's why he had us descend early.
20 Mike, you're clear to the Golden Aerodrome, the Deer Lake 9 departure, flight plan route. Depart runway 25, squawk 3124. Challenger 2 share, Mike, clear to the Golden Airport at Deer Lake 9 departure, flight plan route, depart runway 25, squawk 3124. 20 Mike, feedback is correct. I'm now 1823 to the clear to cancel this not airport 519 Airport this frequency up in the air. Back with you at Munster West End for Halifax. Again, 2250 Moncton Center here. Clear to the Halifax Airport via the Moncton 5
It's the 7800 X3D.
Squawk 4306. Clear to Halifax via the Moncton 5 departure. Pipeline route, depart runway 24, squawk 4306. Yes, please. Again, 2250 readback is correct. Question, jurisdiction call for information out. I don't have information for you, but
The fans look so good.
okay, Q888, different information. Alpha is now current landing runway Q7. I'll assume you want either the RNAV Zulu or Yankee runway Q7.
So we're cruising 300 knots. The system wants 5,000 by logs G, which is 35 miles.
The RNAV Yankee runway Q7, local transition.
We'll start slowing down in a couple, few kilometers. Start slowing down. I'm not even sure this front end this does airspace.
Runway 05, Kate right on Charlie, contact ground 121 decimal center, have a good day.
Alright, let's just talk. Moncton Center at Canada 11 with you. Am I still in your airspace here? I'm descending to St. John's. I'm wondering if I'm cleared to descend further.
Canada 11, yeah, I'm just holding you at 10,000 a little bit more, so you can break the ignore the speed limit a little bit 4, but continue to descend 3000, expect the Alpha runway 16 approach, slow transition.
Roger that. 1 second for the readback. It's breaking up. I missed the transition.
Air Canada 11, descend 3000, expect ILS runway 16 approach, slow transition.
Okay, perfect. ILS runway, runway 23, is it?
Air Canada 11, that's going to be the ILS runway 16 approach, slow transition, descend 3000.
Okay, ILS 16, pesto transition, design 3000. Thank you. Okay, that makes sense. Is that what we have in the box? We had put OMRUM for the transition, so ILS 16, pesto for the transition. We'll execute that. It's telling us that we don't have a. Let's just fly on heading mode for now. I'll rectify this. So we're basically flying velocity.
11 turn left heading 350 for sequence.
Activate. Execute. We'll bring our LNAV back. So now we'll track Lodge T, and then we typically fly this vector. He's probably going to clear us direct to Pez though. So yeah, which he did tell us to expect pesto, but I'll just wait till we get a bit closer. You never really want to go directly to the transition for the ILS. You might come back on the radio and say like, hey, I didn't clear you to pesto or something. So just leave that at that. Okay, Lodge T. He also said that we could ignore the speed limit since he brought us down pretty fast. Our next altitude here is going to be 3,000 in the box, so let's set that.
2709, altimeter 2967, taxi truck, backtrack runway 248. Okay, next Foxtrot,
3,000.
next Foxtrot, backtrack for London.
So let's see.
Air Canada 11, Moncton Center.
Air Canada 11, Moncton Center.
Air Canada 11, turn left heading 350 for seek descent 3000.
Roger, 350 descending right away to 3,000. Okay, so he wants us to fly. We're going to get off the nav mode, and we're just going to fly heading 350.
2250, Roger, via Foxtrot,
350, and we're going to start our descent at 3,000. Aircraft is now going to fly this dotted purple line, which is the heading that I've selected. And it's going off track from what we had programmed in the box. So he said fly heading 350, and we'll be descending to 3,000 feet.
For extended information, Alpha altimeter 2970, descend 4,000. Descend 4,000.
So what he's most likely going to be doing is having us fly this heading and then turn us, I don't know, back to Pesdo. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe he thought we were still too high, but we really weren't. So we're just breaking out of the clouds here. St. John's, Newfoundland, from Halifax. So when we do capture the ILS, which is the localizer and the glide slope, we will be getting vectored, or in this case we'll just take a transition, but we'll eventually get vectored in. And then when we press the approach button, when the runway comes in line with the center of this, the aircraft should capture the radio frequency and then begin preparing on their final approach. So now we're just flying this vector here. We're going to wait for this guy to give us further vectors to Pesdo, or he might vector us directly to ARAM. We'll see what he's going to do. But we're no longer flying the Lodge C, we're basically on the vector right now. So.
Air Canada 2250 to Moncton wind, 280.
Send it to 3000.
Airborne runway 24 from Foxtrot, click for takeoff. From Foxtrot, click for takeoff. Hopefully we'll call you at point again at 50.
Let's just accelerate the descent. We'll speed up. We can bleed off that speed fairly quickly in a 707. Oh, we're getting messages.
You're getting 11 speed and not above 200.
Okay.
You're getting 11 Monkey Sir.
Oops. Air Canada 11 with you.
You're getting 11 speed not above 200.
Slowing down to 200 knots.
Can I put the airport back to 20. GT turn left direct local, identify direct local on course, climb 1000. Climb 1000 direct local on course, Air Canada 50. Challenger 12, Sierra Mike airborne through 2700 on the Deer Lake 1 departure. November 1,
Day's going pretty good. First flight of the day. I've been trying to get this working on Kick. I mean, it's working, but the client I used to connect ATC, you might hear ATC talking to me a bit like laggy and crackly. I'm not having lag or any network issues, so I'm still trying to figure out why it does that when I'm streaming on Kick. It's a bit I don't know how annoying it actually is, but the other day we were streaming a flight from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, and then ATC was basically cussing it out. ILS runway 16 approach, Aaron transition. Yeah, brand new streamer. Just started like this week. Direct to Aaron, cleared to the ILS approach for Air Canada 11 Heavy. So we'll go direct Aaron, grab that in the box, replace Loxy. So now everything in between has been deleted. We click our LNAV button, aircraft goes off of heading mode, and we'll proceed to fly this magenta line. And then when we see the runway come into sight, we'll activate the approach. Yeah, brand new streamer. Started streaming like this week. But you know how it is in the beginning. It's like you got no idea what you're doing. The settings are all messed up. I wanted to stream in 4K, but then nothing was working. And then I read later that you can't. My stream wasn't working because I had it set to 4K, but it doesn't work in Kick yet. They don't have 4K happening. So I managed to get it to convert itself so I can stream in 1080p. Mostly streaming Xplane12 at the moment, just because, I don't know, just giving it a shot. It seems to be like a bit different than what most people are streaming, but I also game Assetto Corsa. I race cars as well, and Counter-Strike Go from time to time, but I don't know. I don't know if it would work to stream multiple games on the same channel, or do people typically have a channel for each game that they stream, or? Yeah, I'm still so new. I'm not even sure if I should just like answer the questions by talking or if I should chat back. But I plan on getting a camera soon. Oh, we gotta watch out here. We gotta bring out a notch of flaps since we're flying. Brought us supposed to go down to 200 knots. So we're just breaking out of the clouds. Make sure we keep flying this aircraft. So there we go. We're direct to Aaron. And then from Aaron, we're basically like 10 miles off of the runway 16. The runway here. So as this runway gets closer, we'll be capturing that, which is the instrument approach that we're going to be flying because the weather is bad. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like the first time that actually I've been like chatting with people that are watching the stream. It always says a few viewers. You're never sure if it's just like some bots or if it's actually real people. But yeah, awesome that you guys are checking it out. I know sometimes especially these types of streams, they can be long and boring, especially in the beginning when you're on the ground, getting clearance, bringing power into the aircraft. But tuned in at the right moment. We're just coming in here for the approach and the landing. So we're at flaps 1. We're just about good for that. We could be reducing our speed. We're clear to the approach now, so which means ATC is not going to give us any further clearances. So we got to make sure we manage our speed and our altitude. So the auto throttle should pull back and go down to the set speed, which is 190 knots. We've reached the flaps 1 speed, so what we'll do is we'll bring out flaps 5. This orange and red line here indicates a stall. So see, as you bring out more flaps at low speed, the stall speed goes down. So now we have more, I guess, bandwidth or whatever. Yeah, it's easier to just talk back, I guess, rather than chat. Especially when ATC is giving you stuff to do. I don't want to crash the plane or get yelled at by the traffic controller. I'm from Canada, Montreal, Canada, but pretty close to the US. I've been to the US before. I've been to New York, been a few places. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on the box here. Once we hit ARAN, we're going to reduce speed to around 170 knots, and then that's when we're going to start capturing the glide slope. Hopefully we'll see like the localizer come alive when we turn onto final, right? So the runway is like in this angle. We're flying in a straight line to ARAN. As we get close to this point, you'll see this. We're flying this heading in the center. The runway is actually this purple line, or the runway heading at least is this purple line. It's a course of 156. We're flying a course of 148. So as we get close to ARAN, the course of the runway will be intersected, and that's the radio frequency that they send out, which in real life is like the radio frequency, like the ILS instrument approach, which was invented before GPS, and that's how planes can fly you down to the ground with no visibility, although we're starting to have some visibility now. So yeah, I've been, honestly, since I started streaming this week, I've been trying to get the stream on every single day. I was bummed because like it took me a few days to figure out how to get it working on Kick without like lag or poor quality issues. The first time I was streaming, it was like I went back and looked at the VOD, and it was like a 2-hour video split into like 1,000,000 30-second clips. I was like, okay, something's definitely not working. I like this platform a lot. That's why I want to keep streaming on here. And I think there's not a ton of people streaming like real world flights either in like a highly realistic simulator. So I think that was pretty cool. And it's the type of thing where it's not like this action-packed game. I see people like they're just sitting there chatting in front of their computer, like just chatting. People are just like hanging out with them, but this is kind of like once the plane's in cruise or something, there's like you're not always busy like when you are during landing or takeoff. So it's kind of a cool platform where we can just also like hang out and talk, and it's not like a super action-packed game, but it's kind of like it's still fun at the same time talking to this ATC. These guys are actually like role-playing as traffic controllers. They're not just like AI things. Yeah, sure. Ask away. By the way, is the game sound better? I know it was a bit loud before I turned it down. Alright, so at ARAN 30, so now you see the localizer is coming alive. So now what you can do is we can click the approach button, and right now it's trying to get onto localizer mode. I don't know why the aircraft is banking. That might be weird. We are... Okay, let me take control of the aircraft. It's still a beta aircraft. This flight factor 777. That's the sound of the autopilot getting disconnected. So I'm flying this by hand right now. I think what happened is I was still too far to get the glide slope. So when you press on approach, it doesn't actually capture it. So let's bring the autopilot back on and see if it lines itself up, or if it just tries to bank again. Okay, so I see that it is pitching down, and the reason why it's doing that is because it wants to be at closer to 3,000 when intercepting the path. So you can see now the aircraft is turning to line itself up with the instrument approach. Did he say Air Canada 11? I'm reading the chat at the same time. Sorry, did you say Air Canada 11?
Air Canada 11, within the 170 at 7, clear for land, runway 11.
Clear to land, runway 11, Air Canada 11, heavy. Alright, so...
Sorry, clear for land, runway 16.
16, Air Canada 11. So what we'll do is reduce speed now to around 168 knots. Some terrain. We can see the runway a bit far off in the distance. There's a couple of aircraft on the ground over there. I do want to add some customized stuff to my channel. I'm not so savvy for that. I managed to add this HUD so you guys can see like the airport for departure, arrival, my flight number, the aircraft, and like the specs in the air, the landing rate, and all that. But so far, I haven't really customized the thing. How do you find this stream? Does it like pop up on the page like, hey, new streamer or something like that, or you already are you into like airplane simulating? So what should happen here with the ILS is once we intercept the glide slope, we're on the localizer. Once the glide slope gets intercepted, then the aircraft will start, it'll go into approach mode from localizer mode, which means the ILS is two parts. It's a glide slope, which is the vertical, and the localizer, which is the horizontal. So now as we've intercepted the glide slope, the aircraft is going to capture this and can technically fly all the way down to the runway in extremely poor conditions. So now we just want to monitor our speed, 170 knots, like we're doing just fine. We still have we have flaps 15. As we get under 150, we'll bring out our reference flaps, and then we'll pray for a smooth touchdown. Yeah, I would definitely like to have a look at your work and see. I just started off, so I'm like, I just do this like after work. But it's nice. Usually I do like night flights, but now that it's the weekend, doing some day flyings. The first flight Halifax to St. John, Newfoundland. I think I saw some controllers come online in Boston or something. But we're gonna take like a 5-minute break after this and like set up another flight. Yes, got Discord. Hold on, I'll get my Discord. After the landing, I'll send it. So let's, so we're basically looking just good. We're looking just fine on the profile. Land 3 means at this point, the aircraft will land itself. Since we do have like good enough visibility, I'm gonna do the landing manually. We'll disconnect the auto throttles as well as the autopilot. So now we're looking just right. So our landing reference speed is gonna be 136 knots, which is what we eventually want to have. So from around here, what I'm gonna do, I'll take off the auto throttle, and we'll disconnect the autopilot. Clear to land. We'll bring out the landing gear. So now I'm now controlling the aircraft. Try to keep her stabilized as much as possible. We'll bring out the last batch of flaps. Want to make sure we don't land. We don't want to land before the runway. We're looking good here. We're going to taper back on the gas so we can start bleeding off speed from 160 knots. We're looking pretty good here. We don't want to do any pull swift movements. We want to stay as stabilized as possible. And we're going to lay her down softly. Okay, we're floating a bit, but it's going to be a nice landing here. Perfect. So we've just got her down on the ground. Nice little hard landing there, which is what you want to have a lot of the times. If you don't want to aim for a landing that's too soft, it's actually dangerous. So that went fine with the max auto brakes. I think that was a clean landing. What do you guys think? So now I got the hand on the tiller.
Walker 1122 identified, flight level speed 20 after Lomsey, clear direct, Bosa. After Lomsey, clear direct, Bosa, Walker 1122.
So we're on the ground.
500 feet remaining.
So now they should welcome us to St. John's. So here we're gonna get off the runway.
Last call, unreadable.
And we're gonna hold short. I mean, it's such a non-busy airport that I'm pretty sure nothing would happen if we just kept going, but typically what you do is you're gonna want to hold short of this line and then ATC is gonna, whoops, toe brakes there. Yep. ATC is gonna bring on the parking brake. Moncton Center, Air Canada 11 Heavy with you on the ground in St. John's, looking for clearance or apron at my discretion.
Air Canada 11 taxi Delta to the apron.
Did you say Delta to the apron? Let's have a look.
Canadian Express 288 250 at 8, clear land runway 27.
Okay, Delta to the apron. I guess it doesn't get more straightforward. But you do need that clearance. So let's get the brakes off. Let's reset the trim while we still have hydraulic power. Whoops.
Bird 115 unreadable.
Landing was indeed successful. We all walked away from that one. That was good. That one was good. I'll try to make things as realistic as possible and not get killed out here on the simulator, but I've been flying these larger airliners for just over a year now, I guess. 737, and now I've been flying this 777, learning its systems for the past few months. It's such a pleasure to fly. I will just pick the gate right here. Oh yeah, we'll take. We'll just pull out the air stairs. Be one of these gateless. Whoops. Can bring the flaps back in. So how was it? Is this like? You think this is something people would watch? Like, just like airplane flights? Excellent. Plan to get the little camera at some point so I can show a bit of my setup and while I'm flying the plane. Bring up the parking brake there. Hold up, just let me get the engines off and then we can get you in Discord. Seatbelt signs off. Turn off the engines here. We already turned on our APU, so we're all good there. Just make sure it's working for sure. Yep, looks good. We can turn our flight directors off. We'll tell the purser quick fast to get the people.
Speedbird 115. Now I see what the problem is. You are 150 miles outside of my airspace.
Let me get you the Discord.
I still cannot reach you. Call you when you're at least closer to my airspace.
Discord. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I'm sending it to you.
46 Golf, clear direct Pesto. Expect
Still even a noob a bit on Discord. Okay, let's see.
Clear direct Pesto, clear direct.
I think it's this. I think it's that. Try that.
Moncton Center, November 116, Juliet, looking to start a descent into St. John.
November 116, Juliet, descent 10,000, information kilo, altimeter 2975.
Alright, down to 10,000.
I should start a virtual altimeter Discord. That's just my normal one. I'll do that later. It's just starting off for now. Not the real one.
28 because I can't accommodate it.
Negative. Our weather was out of date when we looked. We'll take ILS 16.
Alright, 6 Juliet, you can expect the ILS from 16 approach Pesto transition.
Alright, we'll expect ILS 16 Pesto, November 6 that.
Still need to fix that issue with the sound from ATC. That's really nuts.
Air Canada 2250 to Halifax winds 300 at 12, clear land runway 25, clear land runway 23. Clear land 23 Air Canada 2050.
Okay. Yes, let me go do that now.
Very good day, sir. This is Saudi 161 Heavy with you, cruising at the flight limit of 340 flying direct.
Saudi 161, I don't think I have your flight plan. Can you refile, please?
Roger that, that's due to disconnecting. Yes, that's fine. We will refile and call you back again, sir.
Orbit 5 to request descent.
Orbit 5 to descend 12,500. The card right out. Unfortunately, I don't have cartwright altimeter. You can have the Gooseberry altimeter 2934.
34 descent to 12,500, orbit 52.
Waiting to receive. Thank you for following. Awesome. That's so weird. How come it's taking so long to get that?
CYHZ, welcome to 10, backtrack runway 27, vacate left on altitude 8, and have a great day.
Express 288, thank you. Control again, Saudi 161.
Saudi 161, I got it here now. Recycle transponder, squawk 3143.
3143 in the box for Saudi 161.
Okay, let me see. How long does it usually take for the request to come in? What the heck? What's your Discord? Is that even my... Yeah, that is my username. That's so weird. Do you see...
Stewart Free Hotel, good morning.
Okay, let me add you. Yeah, let's do that. I'll add you. Add friend.
Speedbird 3
Oh, okay.
Hotel.
Okay, I found you. I got you.
I don't think I have your flight plan. Refile, please.
I will do that. I'll refile now. Stewart Free Hotel.
And Saudi 161, that's 3143.
Alright, perfect.
3143, Roger, that's it.
I'm gonna take like a 5-10 minute break and then I'm gonna probably fly again. I'm gonna leave the stream up.
Speedbird 3 Hotel, it should be in now.
Speedbird 3 Hotel, recycle transponder, squawk 3144.
3144, 3 Hotel.
Aircan 2250, contact ground 1, vacate right when able, contact ground 121.9er, have a great day.
Over to ground point 9, have a wonderful afternoon, Air Canada 2050.
Saudi 161, identified flight level 340, welcome aboard.
Sir, confirmed, and we request just 15 minutes for dinner and get back to you, sir.
Yes, sir, approved, let me know when we're back.
Sure, sir, we'll report back. Thank you very much.
Speedbird 3 Hotel, identified flight level 360, welcome aboard.
Okay.
Orbit 52, clear out controlled airspace via descent. You can continue monitoring 122.8, have a great day.
Unicom 122.8, thank you for guidance. Orbit 52.
Ferry 46 Golf confirm further descent on my discretion.
Target 46 Golf, say again?
Can we descend further on my discretion, sir?
Sir, you're being cleared for approach.
Ferry 46 Golf.
November 1160 Juliet, continue to descend 3000.
Continue down to 3000, November 60 Juliet.
Mountain Center, Airway 001 Heavy. Good afternoon, sir.
Airway 001 Moncton Center. Hello.
Hello. Yes, requesting clearance to Toulouse, flight level 370, St. John's 8 departure. We are requesting runway 10 for departure, please.
Airway 001, clear to Toulouse Airport via the St. John's 8 departure, flight plan routes. Depart runway 10, squawk 3145.
Clear to Toulouse, flight level 370, St. John's 8 departure, flight plan route, squawk 3145 with information kilo on the box, Airway 001 Heavy.
Airway 001, readback is correct, push and start your discretion, call for taxi information, kilo.
Wilco, thank you so much, Airway 001.
Moncton Center, Delta 8621, request climb to flight level 380.
Delta 8621, climb and maintain flight level 380.
Cleared for 380, Delta 8621.
Walker 1122, we're back.
Walker 1122, welcome back.
And for Walker 1122, just confirm after Lomsey, it's direct Bravo, Oscar Sierra, Uniform Bravo.
Yes, sir, after Lomsey to clear direct both up.
After Lomsey, direct both of Walker 1122, thank you.
Sorry, 46 Golf, the St. John's wind 170 at 8, clear to land Andrew runway 16.
Clear to land runway 16, Qatari 16 Golf.
Sierra Juliet, clear dial S runway 16 approach, Pesto transition.
Clear dial S16, Pesto transition, November 6 Sierra Juliet.
All right, so back on the ground in St. John's now after our first leg from Halifax. Setting up a new flight plan here, so we can fly back to Halifax. I'm not sure why the ATC voice is lagging. I'm trying to fix that for days. So let me get the flight plan going here. New flight. We'll be flying again as Air Canada 11. Departure this time from St. John's. I'm doing this on a different computer. Okay, let me check that out. Arrival airport, CYHZ. Aircraft type B77-200. Have the maximum amount of passengers. Okay, I'm getting the... So, we have the new flight plan set up. Flights, so let's unload, because that's what we're done with this. And now we're going from... Why isn't it loaded, the new one? Hold on a second. CYYT. Open PDF, open in charts. Okay, here we go. Now it should... Whoops. Import flight maybe from SimBrief.
Sorry, 46 Golf.
Here we go.
Welcome to St. John's.
St. John's.
On Delta will enable taxi Delta to the apron. Have a great day.
So now we're heading back. St. John's to Halifax. Whoops.
Jet 6 here, Juliet, the St. John's wind 170.
And our flight plan is here. St. John's to Halifax. The amount of fuel we'll have on board today. The reserve fuel. Here is the route that we'll be taking. 320 passengers on board. 18.6 tons of fuel. Fantastic. So what we'll do is we'll go back into the aircraft. We will get the data from SimBrief, which has updated beautifully. And let's go ahead and load the aircraft from that data.
Sir, they brought a new load sheet.
Got the new load sheet. Alright, so let's set up the box again. This part already takes a bit of time, but we'll be in the air shortly.
161, we have taxi.
Welcome back.
Can we request slip up to 360 sir?
And do you guys hear those radios all broken up? Still trying to fix that. So origin airport, CYYT. Back to Halifax, CYHZ. We'll be running flight number 11 again, Air Canada 11. And we'll most likely be taking off from runway 16. Alright, so how many departures do I have here? They only have one departure, so we're going to assume that's the one. It's going to be the St. John's 8 departure. Runway 16. Activate. Let's go into the performance. Our takeoff weight today, 480.2 tons. The reserve fuel is right here, 6.0 for the reserve. Here we go. Cruising altitude 38,000 feet. Flight level 380. A cost index of 119. So for the thrust limit, let me go have a look at the takeoff calculations based on the weather here in St. John's. So for this runway, they asked us to derate the takeoff to 1. Cell temp will be 32. Oops. 32. Takeoff flaps. We'll be taking off flap 15 takeoff. Our center of gravity is right over here at 31, the Mach number. And last but not least, the current winds 150. They're coming from the heading of 150 at 7 knots. There's the wind. The outside temperature is 4 degrees Celsius. Not that warm. Alright, back. We got our speeds, our takeoff speeds. We'll be rotating at 135 knots. Set up the rest of the route. So from the departure, St. John's 8, we'll be going straight to the vector. And then we'll be going direct to CYYT VOR. From there, we'll be going direct to XZ.
In that case, plan to exit via Charlie.
Or we'll plan to exit via Charlie.
Direct to XZ. Direct to Agmir, AGMIR. And then the Lurla 5 arrival. So we'll execute this, get that in the box. The arrival in Halifax, Lurla 5. And we'll expect runway 32 unless ATC tells us otherwise. So okay, we'll program the RNAV Zulu 32. We'll just put this transition for now. We might change that. So we'll execute this. Make sure our legs page looks good. So we'll be taking off. Fly runway heading 156, which is it's already programmed because we just landed on that runway. Then we'll be flying. Then we'll be flying this vector, which is the runway heading, and at some point ATC is going to turn us off en route to YTT. Then to TechSed to our top of climb, and then we'll be flying out to Halifax. So our performance is all set. So we can close this. I like to run the legs on the left page and the takeoff performance on the right page. So everything looks good. We'll be doing an initial climb around 250 knots. And I'm pretty sure that the arrival is going to say in this part of Canada, the initial altitude is going to be 5,000. We're going to double check that right now. Looking at the departures, St. John's 1 departure. So let's have a look at the chart. And the chart says okay, it's a vector departure. Climb runway heading for vectors. Maintain 5,000 as assigned. So we'll climb runway heading, and we'll expect vectors to the Torbay VOR, and then on course. Excellent. So we're basically ready for push and start. Let's just get on the phone with ground.
This is the captain. Good day.
Ground here.
Oh, I replied to the Discord. So we got ground on the phone. Perfect. Let's talk to ATC. Ask them for clearance. Moncton Center, Air Canada 11 Heavy. Do you copy?
Air Canada 11, go ahead.
Okay. I need to... 1 second here, just filing my flight plan.
Stand by 60 Juliet taxi, Charlie to the apron, have a great day.
Charlie, correction, Charlie to the apron, have a good one, November 6 here, Juliet.
Air Canada 11, say again.
We just filed the IFR to back to Halifax, awaiting clearance.
Air Canada 11, clear to Halifax Airport via the St. John's 8 departure. Depart runway 16, squawk 4302.
Cleared to Halifax via St. John 8 departure runway 16, squawking 4302.
Air Canada 11, Rebecca is correct. Push inside your discretion. Call the information. November, correction, Lima is not correct.
Roger, call back for taxi. We've got Lima on board. Excellent. So he gave us the same squawk code as our last flight, so we actually don't need to change what's in the transponder. Everything's looking pretty good here.
80 miles east of Waypoint Lomsey.
We should have turned all these off before after the flight. Turn all this off.
3150 in the box. Delta 97 heavy.
Aside from that, everything else looks good. We could initiate the pushback. So if we took off, we landed here, we're gonna have to taxi all the way down there, so we'll do a pushback towards the left side. So let's just make sure that let's have a look, make sure the doors are closed. We technically didn't, we just like reloaded the plane without unloading last time, so the doors were actually still closed. So let's just rearm the doors.
Beatbird 269er, you're on board at this moment. Call me back when you're over the next waypoint.
Whoops. Sorry for caps.
Speedbird 115 on the center.
Getting ready for a pushback here.
115, I still can't read you. Check if you muted your headphone or something.
Okay, push back. Start pushback.
Already up here. Start pushback, please.
Set park brake.
Parking brake set.
Speaker 115, okay, so that was the problem. Cycle transponder, squawk 3147, please. 3147.
Alright, so we're driving the tug. I think the aircraft is right here. Yeah, there we go. Bring this get it right. Get that dot down in the center just like that.
115 at 3147,
I think that's good.
Release the parking brake.
Release the parking brake.
Parking brake release.
Yes, sir.
We are starting the pushback.
Perfect. So the pushback is underway.
Speedbird 115 identified. Levels 400. Welcome aboard. Thank you.
It's not a huge airport here. I don't think they're used to landing 777s here in St. John's. Let's add a bit more torque. Alright, and that looks just about right for the pushback, so we'll stop it right there. Let's start our engine. Bring up the parking brake.
Parking brake is set.
Then we'll disconnect here. Bring the aircraft down. And then we can drive away
Thank you.
from
See
the
you
aircraft.
hand signals.
Crash into this guy. Okay. And just bring the tug back. That should be fine.
All station Moncton Center will be back in 2 minutes.
Bring up the fuel mixture to get that right engine powered. There we go. Engine starting to go. The fuel pumps were actually left on from the last flight. No biggie. So, let's get the hydraulics starting to go. Okay, for the pushback, we can end the process. We need to take the pin out.
Show me the pin.
Start that start that engine number 1. So bring the seatbelt signs on.
See you next time,
Strobe
sir.
was already on. It's always much quicker to get like that second flight started. Let's bring up engine performance. Okay, 24. We'll bring in the fuel mixture for engine number 1. Pumps are on for engine number 1. We can bring in the hydraulics here. Takeoff trim 4. We have enough hydraulics for this. Perfect. There's a flap 15. We can bring that out. Second engine's spooling up. Let's have a look at the hydraulics. So we have power. Just off of one engine, it's enough. Everything here looks good for takeoff. We'll bring in the auto throttle arms for the takeoff go around thrust. Reset our counter. Perfect. Bring in the hydraulics here. Anti-ice. Taxi lights. Rest is looking pretty good. Can turn the APU off. Bring out the engine performance, and let's get ATC on the phone so we can get out of here. Moncton Center, Canada 11 Heavy with you, ready for taxi.
Air Canada 11, runway 16, taxi via Golf backtrack, runway 16.
Taxi via Golf backtrack runway 16. So he wants us to backtrack the runway, which is something that happens in these tiny airports. So let's go look at exactly what the hell that means. So taxi via Golf, and then we're gonna backtrack the runway all the way here and then do a U-turn at the end and come back. Surprised why he didn't say Juliet, but we'll do it like that. We'll go Golf. Okay. Let's make sure we're done with ground. We waved them off. Whoops. Make sure my nose gear tiller works. They've taken out the pin. Perfect. So we'll take the brakes off, give it a bit of power, and begin our taxi. The taxiway is like back here. Yeah, get on there. Everything looks like it's. I don't think I forgot anything, but I guess we'll see once we get airborne. So this is Golf. Make a nice wide turn onto Golf, and we are not going to turn onto what I think is Hotel.
Approaching 3-4.
You always look both ways, make sure there's no one on approach here. And he wants us to backtrack the runway. It's a bit of a wide turn. Gonna give some left toe brake to make that turn.
3-4.
So when we get to the end, we'll make that U-turn. He'll clear us for takeoff. We'll be on our way. I'll fly the plane by hand to around 2,000 feet or more, depending on what I feel. We'll get the aircraft trimmed out, and then we'll start getting the autopilot ready, awaiting our clearance to our waypoint. The departure is fairly simple procedure at this airport. We're going to be flying a vector, in this case the runway heading, and then ATC eventually will either give us more vectors to fly or will clear us directly to our next waypoint, which is the YTT that we have in the box there. Some overcast, but then we'll have some sunshine once we break over the clouds, and then we'll be on our destination. We'll be climbing at an initial rate of 250 knots, which is standard law here in Canada, under 10,000 feet, and then after that we'll increase to 280 knots for the remainder of our climb.
We'll see you, T-shirt, Mike. Thanks so much for the help in and out of daylight. And nice procedure right there. Holy shit, that's one of the best Mach 6 I've seen in my life. Appreciate it.
Okay, so we'll use this space here
American 303 X-ray, book consider.
to bust out a U-turn.
Approaching 16.
American 11, the St. John's wind, 190 at 8, call me, airborne runway 16, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 16, Air Canada 11. So we're clear for takeoff. We'll spool the engines up to about 40%, get rolling, and then we'll engage the takeoff go around. We'll engage takeoff thrust with the auto throttles as we've derated it before, so it's gonna give us a derated engine. Still on the nose wheel tiller, 80, 90 knots now. We should be able to control with our feet. Okay, and give us some left rudder, Nose down. V1. I'm gonna rotate 15 degrees. Just pulled up into the sky. 15 degrees. Positive rate. We're gonna bring up the landing gear. Trim the aircraft nose down a bit. I'll trim the aircraft nose down just a pinch. And we're flying just like that out of St. John. You don't want to chase the flight directors too much, but you do want to stay there in the purple. Climbing here to 1,200 feet. Let's call them up. Air Canada 11 heavy to Moncton Center. We're 1,700 to 5,000 on the runway heading vector.
Air Canada 11, identified to turn right to direct taxi on course, climb flight level 380.
Sorry, you say flight level 380, direct to TechSed for Air Canada 11?
Air Canada 11, affirmative.
Alright, so we're direct to TechSed. So at this point, 3,000 feet. I'm going to engage the autopilot. We're all trimmed up. Let's bring our flight directors on. Whoops. We're going to engage climbing thrust. And we're going to bring the altitude up. We're cleared direct to TechSed as well, so let's fly heading mode towards TechSed, and then when we get close, we will we'll set up our LNAV. So let's just get that right turn going. We'll click flight level change to get off of that toga thrust. Let's climb the aircraft up right now to we're cleared to go immediately to flight level 380. Excuse me. So let's go up to 380. Let's bring up our flaps now. We'll go up to flaps 5 so we don't overspeed the aircraft. If you look here, this is the overspeed, and obviously we take off with a lot of more flaps at this airport because the runway was fairly short. So we also tend to overspeed them quite faster too. Trying to speed up to 250 knots, approaching our new overspeed. So now we'll go to flaps 1. Beautiful sight here. Pushing through the clouds. Okay, let's put 308 in the MCU.
All station, Moncton Center is closing. March, you're going to come 122 decimal 8 for the rest of your flight. Have a great day.
So there goes Moncton Center. I mean, I respect the guy. He was online since before I started flying out of Moncton. And then we flew all the way from Moncton to, I mean, all the way. We flew from Moncton to St. John's. And then took a 10-minute break, set up a new flight plan, get the aircraft ready, etc., etc. And now we're flying back to St. John's from Moncton. Back to Halifax from St. John's. Very nice push through the clouds here. What a view on Xplane. All right. So we're direct TechSed. Just keep flying until we get close. There we go. Over 10,000 feet. We're just waiting for the rest of our flaps to be retracted. The airspeed should give us more space to work with here. Exactly. So now we're flying in a clean configuration. I'm going to accelerate the aircraft to 280 knots. And we're going to disactivate the auto throttles. We're just going to continue our climb with max thrust. Here we go. So auto throttles were removed. We're just going to wall the engines to get the climb slightly a bit faster here. Just braking above the clouds in the overcast airport in St. John's. Beautiful view here, pushing through 13,000 feet. So after takeoff, check up. Not really running any checklist, but we can remember. Like to follow the progress page. Our engines look really, really good. Nothing to worry about here. Oil pressure, temperatures, our temps are good. Make sure we're not dealing with a fuel leak or anything. Looks pretty normal. Hydraulics, they look pretty good. Nothing to complain there. Electric looks good as well. All the doors are closed and armed. Fantastic. The APU is off. Very good. Then we can either monitor the engines or we can bring up. Some people like to run more nav here. It really doesn't matter. Sick view, to say the least. Checking this floor. Alright, so we'll be switching from local barometer to standard on both sides. So we're climbing, reaching 25,000. We're still direct to TechSed, so at this point we could just click TechSed. We're close enough for the aircraft to fly there directly, get off heading mode and hit that LNAV. Aircraft will start to turn, line itself up to meet TechSed. Excellent. So, make a PA inviting everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, I, the captain, would like to welcome you on board this Fright Factor aircraft. My first officer and I hope you have a lovely and safe flight on this modern Boeing 777 airplane.
Looks good so far. So we're tracking TechSed. Here we can toggle the amount of map we could see. So it's all jumbled up because we're still not really close enough to see that. And the plan function. Can see through the box, say you're looking through Agnear, and then it'll show you, we can have a look at where we're going. So most likely going to get off of Kicksit, fly the vector, and then ATC usually turns you into the approach there. The approach starts on MBAX, and then there's the runway, and then here's the missed approach procedure. So this is technically where we're tracking now, TechSed. I like to roll the map view. You can either run it like this or like that, whatever. We're going to leave the auto throttle disconnected until we restart cruising altitude, and we'll bring it back. Good, so here we are. Aircraft performs beautifully, especially when you have the throttles turned off and the engines well. But yeah, we're just pushing right through the altitude like extremely quickly. They're saying 31,000 at TechSed, we're already at 34,000. So we're climbing slightly faster than what we have on profile, but it's not a huge deal, considering it's not a super long flight. You wouldn't want to do that on a long flight because you may run out of fuel along the way. These reflections in this one are just fantastic. TechSed coming up. So the winds are coming from the northwest. Right, that's why we don't really need any rudder trim, but you can go. TechSed. So from TechSed, currently tracking heading 186. We'll be tracking heading 166. Just aligning that. Whoops. Perfect. So everything looks good. Once we arrive at our cruise, we can disengage the seatbelt signs. I'll leave the auto throttle off, continue with the same amount of thrust. We're going to push the speed right under the red line here, try to fly the aircraft as fast as possible. And then once we get there, we'll just engage the auto throttles again so that it could just, do the fine adjustments on its own to maintain the speed that we'll be asking. So 1,000 to reach our cruise of 38,000. These clouds here. So just 400 feet, 300 feet away, and then we'll be meeting up with our top of climb, based on the information that we put in on the ground before starting our flight. So the autopilot knows everything from wind to where we're going, etc., etc. So we're just about hitting our cruise here. Just gonna turn the seatbelt signs off. Everything else here looks pretty good. Leave the no smoking signs on. When these were built, you could still smoke on planes. Imagine that. Flight directors are on. Everything looks good. We are now tracking Agmere, heading 66. Next waypoint. Agmere. How far is Agmere? Okay. No, we're tracking Agmere. Basically one long waypoint. Then we'll be starting our descent before we get to Agmere. We'll be descending. We want to cross there around 17,000 feet. So we still got the same thrust. Aircraft is speeding up. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring on the auto throttles just before the overspeed. Whoops. And then we'll just want to pull the throttles back a bit just to make sure the auto throttles are staying where they're supposed to be. Fantastic. So we are cruising towards our destination. We're doing 398 knots across the ground. It's about to go up. It's about to go up drastically. Just like that. So, the altitude fluctuates a couple hundred feet here and there because of pockets of wind, stuff like that. So we are just holding our speed here at Mach 0.88. It's almost 90% of the speed of sound. Typically in an aircraft like this, you're going to be cruising around 0.76, but we're in the sim. As long as technically they don't want to cruise this close to the aircraft's overspeed, but as long as you keep an eye on it, the aircraft is not yet in a state of overspeed. Before descending, we will taper off in case of some wind that can push us into the limits. So if everything looks good, do another check, make sure fuel is not leaking. So come through the cabin, 21. Had some complaints about the temperature. Let's just bring it up just a pinch. That looks good. Hydraulics look good. Electrical systems looking good also. We were on the ground with ATC, but they've actually just logged off, so we'll be doing Unicom for the rest of the flight. I forgot to tune into Unicom actually, 122.8. So at least us pilots can coordinate if need be, especially on the ground. Let these nifty cameras here. We're flying into the sun. Got the map up. There we go, zoom in a bit more. So our top of descent is about 180 miles out, coming out of our cruising speed. Engines, everything looks just about right here. We're not actually 6 minutes into flight. I must have started it maybe 10 minutes late or something. I'm not sure. Oh, I just realized something was off. newbie mistake. I actually have to change the HUD every single time, so we're actually flying back to Halifax, so I'm going to change the HUD. CYYT to CYHZ, Halifax Stanfield. So I think that may have like updated it in real time. Yeah, it did. Even the progress bar, good stuff. Great software from Fly Live. Very simple for me to set up this heads-up display where you can have all the information about the flight. We did our first leg from Halifax to St. John's, and then basically got new clearance from the ground, got everyone loaded up, and then came back. And then I need to remember now, if I do more than one leg on the same stream, I'll update the flight information in the HUD. Alright. We're in cruise here, not much else to do besides enjoy the scenery, monitor the systems, making sure nothing is out of place here. Seatbelts not just still off. People can enjoy a meal. We can actually be asking the purser for a meal.
At your service.
Look at it.
We would like some food, please.
Fine.
Are they actually good food? Yeah, I can drink this coffee. Those Airbus guys, they have no yoke and like an entire like lunch table here, so but on the Boeing you're stuck with the yoke, so I guess you just eat your muffin on this like little side table and take a hit of oxygen over here. Just make sure that's working. Everything's looking just right here. We've had no problems on our first leg. It seems to be having no problems with this aircraft on the second leg. Beautiful once you get up here over the clouds. It was a bit wet and rainy in St. John's, but flying into the sun, coming right through the overcast was very nice. Performance there is still looking good. The aircraft is set up to have like, it says, I have it set up right now where it could potentially have like a system failure at random, approximately one failure every 100 hours. I don't know if those are like real world averages, but yep. Okay, so we're still here. Everything still looks good. Halifax to St. John's, St. John's to Halifax. I don't know if they would actually fly 777s out of there. I don't know if they've ever needed to send like 300 people at a time to St. John's from Halifax. But it's definitely doable. The aircraft performs great, even on short legs. I love flying this. Once gone to the 777, I haven't really gone back to the 737 ever since. Some of the views here. we're still up here. Just replying to some chats. Okay. Aircraft performing like it should. So it's a relaxed day here in Montreal. Nice little Saturday afternoon. Day off of work. Just start figuring if I'm gonna be flying anyways and simming, you might as well just click that button and make the content. Look at that. Literally above the clouds. Closing in on Agnew here. Pretty much as fast as the plane can take us. So these are what the skies of Eastern Canada look like here, ladies and gentlemen. Some views. Have a look at the flight progress here. It took off on the vector from St. John's. Got cleared off to the YTTVR. Tech said we're currently tracking Agmere. So by the time we get to Agmere, our descent's gonna start like before the waypoint. Then we'll just descend smoothly from Kixit, and then from there, most likely gonna be taking runway 32. Is it? Runway 32. It's going to be in RNAV. I'll just click final. There we go. So, from Kixit, usually use a vector separation, and then when it's time, ATC does clear you into Dutsa. And then from Dutsa, you can fly short final onto the runway. And then if anything goes wrong, you fly to Titar, and then you can fly this missed approach procedure. Perfect. Still at our cruising altitude. Tracking Agmere. 250 feet. Engines are performing just fine.
Fuel synoptic switch.
What? No fuel leak. Everything looks normally here before the close. Electrical, everything is in the green. Looks ridiculous in the sim, but things could be going wrong. Sweet pilots up to the Vatsim. As it gets a bit dark in here. They got the lighting really right here on Xplane. They got their lighting right, that's for sure. So let's go have a look at the cabin. Main galley. Not too shabby, huh? This must be the bathroom. They've actually just modeled in this update. I haven't even given it a look yet. Whoops. Not easy to maneuver. Complete with the sound of the toilet flushing. Very luxe. Very luxe. They have this modeled really, really well. This flight factor 777-200. Not bad, not too shabby. Another bathroom. Do they have all of them then? Oh, they do. Interesting. Go for the explosive decompression. next time. We're still in like business class here. And then finally, imagine having a this class configured all the way through. I think they can put around, I don't know what's the max number, but probably a lot. This plane just goes on forever. It's a nice view of the wing from here. You can also just program the views, which I haven't really done. Maybe this is a good spot to catch the wing. Why am I sliding back into the aisle? This is actually a great shot. I'll take that. So I programmed that to the numpad 4, so now from the cockpit, if I press 4, got the view of the wing. Save this view a bit earlier. Not terrible. Climbing any higher than this. So how are we looking? Top of descent is approaching, starting our descent. At some point soon. Progress to Agna. Here's our GPS position. Again, looks nice and cozy in the cabin. So far today it's been our second leg, 1-2, Halifax, St. John's, Halifax. We were online with ATC, they were off. They're offline now. Let's see if I do another leg later. It's really a game changer flying on Vatsim, I find, versus not flying. It's just adds a whole nother level of realism to have actually a guy role playing as ATC who's like passed tests to like be legit in what he's doing, whether it's for training or whatever. And also it does come in handy in sticky situations when there's weather. There's definitely there's like a new challenges that comes with flying online, from like the language to, you know, how to deal with other pilots, how to take evasive maneuver, how to fly procedures. You know, on single player you can just kind of push the engines and take off and go into the sky, but when you're flying online you really have to fly the procedures, otherwise they'll get like a supervisor, blah 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 blah. In other words, that's very serious, you know, they handle their stuff. So we'll be flying into Halifax runway 32. This is brief. We'll probably we can stop here and get off on Gulf, but it's going to be Gulf Hotel or November to the apron. Doesn't look like it's that far, but it's actually not that close. I fly often, you know, like Montreal, Toronto, stuff like that. And then you're like, oh cool, it's a little short flight here from St. John to Halifax. It's actually a decent distance. Newfoundland is actually not as tiny as you'd expect. The skies are just beautiful here, especially this time of day. Can't really complain at all. Just relaxing today, getting some flights done. It was a busy week at work. Some views of the outside of the plane.
left engine fire switch.
So yeah, going back to Vatsim, sometimes you get these crazy controllers that are clearly are woken up on the wrong side of the bed. I mean, I follow procedures to a T, or at least I try to most of the time. But then, you know, there's always like new people trying to fly online for the first time, and they just get ripped a new one every single time. And I'm just sitting, every other pilot's probably just sitting there listening to the radio going like, oh my god, like did they hit a break? It takes time. I remember starting off too, and get a grip of the aircraft, you know how to fly your machine, and then you log into Vatsim, and then you got all the lingo, all the controllers asking you to do very specific things. You need to start reading charts and following procedures. It was like, I felt comfortable flying the plane, but I was still like worried to fly on Vatsim just because it was like a whole nother world that I had to get into. But yeah, long story short, fast forward about a year, here we are, but I still see these situations where people log in and you're like, oh man, that was me in the beginning, and get roasted by ATC for stuff. It happens to everybody. It's an inevitable step, and then you get good at some point. It's easy. It's always like the same thing, talking about either speed or altitude. And then once you get the charts going and knowing how to get the aircraft to do what it wants and practicing flying the landings by hand, and basically ready for any situation. So Flight Factor made this aircraft. Boeing 777 steady level model. It's a pleasure. It's my favorite aircraft to fly in this entire sim. Look at those shadows. Check Discord. ATC online now, not where we are specifically, but I'm seeing there's an approach guy coming into Halifax, so we'll be intercepting him at some point, and he'll be clearing us for the approach. It's most likely going to be exactly what we already have set up in the box, but there is a chance that the ATC switches it up. So we're still at our cruising altitude. Winds are coming from the front, which the engines love. Top of descent is coming up in about 80 miles, 80 nautical miles. and then we'll be descending, hoping to cross Agnew around 17,000, and then Lurla 8,000, and then it goes pretty quickly from there. So we get cleared into the ILS approach from MBAX. So going back to Navigraph, we'll be descending before Agnew, and then it's a pretty straightforward approach. Tick exit, and then we'll be getting cleared to turn off, eventually reaching Dusta, and then flying the Arnava non-precision approach. I'll just fly the visual, might get close enough. But yeah, a lot of people that say, oh, Microsoft Flight Simulator versus Xplane, which one's better? I'm actually not sure. I've actually never actually tried Microsoft Flight Simulator. I hear that, I've seen obviously the videos online. The towns and the cities seem to look really good on Microsoft Flight Simulator. But I think everything else, in my opinion, just looks really good. On Xplane, it just looks a bit more real, the lighting, the colors. It's less turned up. Like on Microsoft Flight Simulator, it looks a bit too cartoony, or I don't know, too smooth. That's hard to say. I'm really liking the physics there. I think that's the main thing everyone really talks about, is how the flying experience is more realistic on Xplane. But if you want to do like IFR flights and fly low and have like a realistic view of like the visual series and stuff, I think Microsoft Flight Simulator is no good for that. But I do appreciate where Xplane is going, and I'm happy to support them. And I'm pretty sure that if they're already building a better base, at some point those like details that people prefer from Microsoft Flight Simulator is probably going to be the same on Xplane12, and then at that point they'll probably have the edge. But hey, like right now, I think most people are sitting on Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's just a fact. It is the boats down here. We got these boats. And a lot of these ships, this looks like an oil tanker. You can actually try to land a helicopter on that. But there are actually like army ships that you can try to do your landing on. This is us again. But yeah, just the reflections with Xplane2, like before we were flying with the sun, the way it like gets hit off the yoke and reflects onto the screens, and it's just the snow. I think everything just looks a bit better. Even the lighting right now, the way that it hits the dash on this angle, you'd expect it to be slightly darker underneath. Phenomenal. Awesome lights. It just looks good. So we're getting up to our top of descent soon. So bring this out, we can look 80 to 70 miles. And then, yeah, we're starting our descent. The VNAV is, since this aircraft on flight back there is still in beta, it's not quite fully ready, although it's such a meticulous aircraft to fly. All the systems work so well. It's working well enough to be released. The VNAV, which is like automatic vertical profile, as long as you you bring your altitude down before you reach top of descent, and then if you have all the throttles on, it should spool back and start to descend on its own, and it'll manage the profile to hit all these checkpoints that we set up in the book. But the art of flying in itself is all about eyeballing your descent and knowing how to step the aircraft down to cross these breakpoints at this given altitude, at this given speed. So even on other aircrafts where the VNAV is fully functional, I think it's funner to fly without the VNAV, and to really, okay, top of descent, come out of your descent, manage it yourself, deal with what ATC is asking you to do. So I am zero phase the fact that the VNAV is not on this aircraft. They put out updates pretty much weekly. I updated it this morning actually. The only thing that they changed, they fixed a few bugs, and now the bathrooms are perfectly modeled and doing working flushing sound. I just did it before, so I'm not going to do it again, but I will again at some point. that pinkish feeling. I don't know how good the stream looks on Kick. I'm displaying this on a LED 55-inch TV in 4K, and it looks simply crazy. The stream is converting it to 1080p for Kick because I can't actually stream it on 4K, but it just looks phenomenal. Cruise about 40 miles. As soon as we hit up our top of descent, we'll start coming down, and as we get closer to Halifax, we'll be tuning into control over there. .2. I think it's still a bit not quite trying to call them up, but okay, center is online, so I should probably tune into them, let them know I'm in their airspace. So center's on 132.2.
Halifax, this is JetBlue 752, receive flight level 231, climbing 340.
Moncton Center, Canada 11 Heavy with you, cruising 38,000. Dude.
Canada 11 Heavy, Moncton Center, good day, when ready, descend 4th, correction 10,000, Halifax, altimeter 2972.
Roger, when ready, descending to 10,000. Altimeter, did you say 2970 or Canada 11?
2972 or Canada 11.
Roger. Alright, so when we're ready, we're clear to descend 10,000. We'll set up the local altimeter when the time is right. It was 2972. Staying standard for now.
001, identified passing 1,500, climb flight level 370, proceed on course.
Flight level 370, proceeding on course 370. Thank you.
Gonna be staying in climb, in cruise until we actually hit this top of descent. We can go a bit further. Should be fine. Aircraft. Pretty easy to slow down in the grand scheme of things. This guy really looks like he's having a Alright, so we're back. 92 nautical miles off Agnier. Top of descent coming up.
Air France 002, Monkey Center, good day. It's going to be responders, so it could be 1 keeper 2.
Fuel looks good. Electric looks good. Well, it's
good evening.
start our AQ again when we get out of climb.
Waypoint nil, flight level 380. Up to 97 Mountain Center, good day, identified flight level 380.
They really need to model passengers, which would make a lot more sense. That's why I used to do a lot of cargo flights, just because they would model the cargo and the other aircraft I was flying for cargo was a 747. And I thought it was so ridiculous that they couldn't just put passengers in there, but this aircraft is such a blast to fly that it actually does look like me. Shadows here. Sunshine, and it's not even a nice day. When we were on the ground, it was like rainy and wet. One of my favorite parts of this is actually like climbing out of the clouds or descending into the rain, one or the other. It's just the change is nice. So in a few nautical miles we'll start descending the aircraft. ATC cleared us to 10,000 feet. We'll be getting ready here to set up a landing and to fly an approach into Halifax. I'm going to look at the landing calculations based on the runway. He didn't tell us which runway to expect just yet, but it most likely will be runway 32. If that's the case, we actually have a landing distance of 55,465 feet. We can run auto brake. That's actually it's not the longest runway in existence, let's just say. We'll be running auto brakes for reverse thrusters on touchdown with flaps 30. So that's what the calculation says. We're getting pretty close. Whoops, the Agnear. But we'll be starting our descent before that. It's going to start going very fast. Here to our arrival in Halifax. So we passed our top of descent. He wants us to go down. He said when ready, go down to 10,000. We don't want to make the mistake of immediately going down to 10,000.
115 Mountain Center, good day, vertical transponder, squawk 3104.
Get low and then...
Squawk 3104.
Low means slow. So we'll bring the passenger seatbelt signs off so people can put their whiskey away as we start to descend. Everything else looks just fine here. So most likely RNAV runway 32. Couldn't brief the approach quick fast. Missed approach flying 3,000 on the track list at T-Tar. So, I'm going to come off Lurla, fly Menbo, Gabat, Nick, and then get cleared to Dutsa or Volko. And then go right into the runway on the non-precision VNAV approach. It still guides you down, it's just not considered as precise as an ILS, so it can't be used in zero visibility. But if we can see the runway once we break out of the clouds, I'm going to disactivate all of the auto stuff and fly it manually. So at this point, 60 miles off Agnear, we want 17,000 at Agnear, so let's come out of our cruise here. Start 30,000. We'll initiate the descent. And we'll slow the aircraft down just a bit while descending. To give us space if the aircraft picks up too much speed where the autopilot can't control anymore. You want to have a bit of bandwidth here. If you descend right on the edge, anything happens and then you're immediately going to start overspeeding the aircraft. So as it goes down to 8.5, it should stabilize that speed with the autothrottles. Now it's going to pull back so that we can fall out of our altitude of 38,000 feet. So for the climb to keep going, I gotta keep this down. Let's start our descent. Let's bring it down to 20,000 for now.
London Center, hello, Air France 1555, level 360, inbound Milky.
Our descent has started.
1555,
It says the lock has failed because we were actually out of the cockpit before.
Squawk 107, Air France 1555.
I'll unlock this door on that. Perfect. So everything's good. Beginning our descent here. 300 knots. We're looking good on profile. We're 45 nautical miles off Agnear. We're aiming for 17,000. Cross. So this is the second leg of the day, Halifax to St. John's, and now we're on a leg of from St. John's back to Halifax. Basically flying the plan that we filed earlier.
American 4223 unreadable, second.
Actually, this is the first flight time from Halifax to St. John.
Confirm requesting cell cal check.
This is the flight plan we flew. Right now we're between TAGZ. We're going to be reaching Agnew soon, and then we're quickly at our arrival and destination. Just crossing 30,000 feet. We don't even have the speed brakes earned. Very nice soft descent. Very nice speed. Looking good. So we have about 36 nautical miles to descend another, 10,000 feet. It's enough. Before we reach 17,000, we're gonna just probably keep going. We're cleared to 10,000 by ATC. Keep walking down. Just put 10,000 on the box. There we go. At this point, the speed seems pretty stable. We could increase speed to around 325 knots and see if ATC lets it slide. It will increase our angle of attack and we will lose altitude faster, and as a result this plane will speed up. We are still descending on idle thrust, so the way that the aircraft speeds up is it just drops the nose more, essentially falling out of the sky faster. So it's seeing a bit more. Admiral Lola. We're looking good here. So the approach, before we looked at the calculations, it was a flap 30 landing on auto brake 4. Very good. As we descend through 20,000, we can bring our APU back on, so we have power when we get back to the gate. We'll bring the lights on a bit later. Passenger seatbelts are on again. Everything there looks just fine. Beautiful.
Air France 002, go ahead.
Absolutely flying through the sky.
Air France 002.
We've got 409 across the ground. If you do the math, you'll realize it's pretty fast. Agmere is now happening quickly. 22,000, 60 nautical miles to reach 1,700. Let's see if I eyeballed this landing well. Let's see if we fall onto the profile. No VNAV. So VNAV is what basically is going to just fly what's in the box. And then when pilots get to the arrival, and then when they get close to the airport to get vectored into final, then they use heading mode, get onto final, and then when they have the runway in sight, most pilots will just disactivate the auto throttles and the autopilot, and then put the aircraft down by hand. But a lot of even the descent is manual by the computer.
Thank you.
So in this beta, they're still working on the VNAV, but even then, it's just, where's all the fun? The fun's in trying to eyeball the descent.
17 Romeo, stay current position.
So they also want around 293 knots. We're a bit faster.
173,
ATC could tell you to slow down, or they could just say nothing. Just breaking out at 20,000 feet here. 8 nautical miles to hit Agner 17. We're looking solid. We're looking solid, about to start the approach. Sorry, the arrival.
Sorry, check back the 350 français for Papa.
Moncton Center, ready for departure, runway 29er, Alpaca 390 Golf.
So we're looking pretty healthy here, to be honest. I think it's going to be right on the dot. Whoops. And then at Lurla, 8,100, Menbo 5,000, but I'm sure by the time we get to there, we'll be getting further clearances. This guy is going to transfer us to the terminal approach. As we get closer to our arrival, we're going to talk to the approach guy, and then he might give us further instructions. So we're in the suit now, going through the clouds. We're also going to switch from standard gyro back to the local altimeter 2972. Now this doesn't look bad at all. So the aircraft now reached Agner and it's just done a slight right turn here to line up with Lurla, which is heading at 268, which is line that up right here. Can't complain about the view. Very nice here coming out the clouds. Alright, so what do we look on the profile? 32 nautical miles to Lurla. We want 8,000. Let's see what ATC wants us to do. So far everything's alright. We already have our landing brake set up. We know that we're going to be using flap 30. We brought our APU back online for landing, and also if you get like an engine failure on approach and you're low to the ground, you want to try to refire one of your engines, you need your APU on, and then if you're already in trouble and then you try to turn this on, it takes like a minute or two to come on or more, then you could be screwed. Possibly. Very nice, these like inky clouds flying through the soup here. So we just want to watch our speed here going through the clouds. We might encounter some turbulence. And when you're flying the aircraft on the edge, you really don't want to have a chance of that. The wind is coming from in front of us, so it should be fine. We're on the approach here. I'm going to contact the controller. For some reason, he hasn't cleared us to approach. Moncton Center, Canada 11 Heavy. Just wondering, should I tune into Halifax terminal?
Air Canada 11 Heavy, and give me 1 moment. Air Canada 11 Heavy, Halifax approach is spotted at 4,000.
I'm sorry? You said not yet? Don't go to them yet?
Air Canada 11 Heavy, they're just about to head up, so descend 4,000.
Okay, roger. Descending 4,000.
Just me.
Okay, that works. Okay. Descending 4,000. Okie dokie. So the approach controller is about to log off. So we'll be getting handled by by main radar center. He's asking us to descend to 4,000. So let's do that. Aircraft should come out of its cruise. We are back on the descent. So we'll be flying through these clouds, and at some point it's probably going to get a bit thicker, and then breaking out of the clouds on the RNAV approach. If we have good visibility of the runway, we obviously disengage and we land it by hand. If we don't see the runway by the time we arrive at our minimums, then you fly a go around. But I'm sure it's going to be fine. Let's have a look at what those minimums are. So here's the RNAV for Halifax Stanfield. Probably going to get transitioned into dust up and fix it. So 3,000 at Dusta, 3-degree glide slope, or glide path, should I say, to the RNAV down to the runway. Runway elevation is 476 feet. On the approach that we're going to be flying, our minimums are 726, so if you can't see the runway breaking out of 726 feet, it's a mandatory go-around. An ILS approach, a precision approach, can bring you down up to 50 feet. Some ILSs can do an auto landing, but in this case, we'll have to set our minimums to 726, so let's go ahead and do that.
Goodbye.
726 barometric.
Air Canada 11, turn left to gap app. Via gap app, clear the RNAV to the barometric to approach.
So he's cleared us direct to GARPAP, and then from there we're cleared to the approach. Air Canada 11 Heavy cleared direct GAPAP, and then from there cleared to the approach. Fly GAPAP, execute that.
Victor Charlie Papa 39.
So from here we're cleared to the approach, so we can fly directly to MBAX and then skip kicks it along with the vector. So what that means is that we fly direct to GAPAP, and then we can fly right into the ILS from there, which is a good deal for me. It's a bit of a shortcut. How come it's not on the... How do I not see it? The aircraft is turns over where it is heading out for now. I can't see the map on my side anymore. But this guy can. Oh, I accidentally went to VR. Okay, so as they're flying to Gaba, we are back to LNAV. We want to fly directly to GAPAP. Then we want to skip the vector. ATC, I just want to confirm, Canada 11 Heavy, from GAPAP, I'm cleared directly into the ILS, yeah? Sorry, into the RNAV?
Canada 11, yep. Hi, GAPAP, cleared the RNAV through the 1 through approach.
Roger, thank you very much. So then we'll just go directly from Vokil. We'll just replace there, and then we'll just fly gate map, and then we'll clear directly to the approach. Easy peasy. So now we're coming in pretty hot. We're gonna want to slow down the aircraft to around 210 knots from here. There we go. Throttle comes back on its own. Let's say at 4,000. Plenty of time to clear off the speed. So we have all the landing stuff cleared. I think everything's good. The brakes, we're going to use flap 30. EPU's been on for a minute. Bring up the landing lights when we get close. Here we go. So we're at 4,000. We're going to be landing this aircraft in a moment here. You can tell the purser to get the cabin ready. The purser.
Yes?
We're going to ask her to do a PA for us. Land.
I would ask you to make an announcement now.
No.
She said no. That's hilarious. Maybe it's because we can give her one. We're under 10K. It's that one.
Please feel free to make an announcement now.
I'm afraid I can't.
Moncton Center,
That's so
good evening.
funny.
We said it. 70 Moncton Center, good work.
This guy on the mic is so loud.
3114, we said 870.
Weather radar button.
So at gate bop, we want 210 knots. We got it. We can bring out a notch of flaps, so we can bring that stall speed down. Start flying low. Bring out flaps. They want 3,000. So let's come out of our speed with 4,000. 3,000. Gauge flight level change. Bring that nose down. Okay, and then Vokil, they want 3,000 or above, so then we're not going to touch anything till Vokil, and then from Vokil we'll put 1,800 in the box, and then if we see the runway from there, we'll fly it by hand. Alright, so everything's good. We have our brakes set according to the landing performance, auto brake to 4. We have a 1 notch of flaps up. Once we reach the number 1 here, then we'll bring out flap 5, and then you'll see the stall speed keeps going down and down until we can land at flaps 30. We want to bring it out nice and smooth so the aircraft stays as stabilized as possible, especially on final. It's easy to lose track of the runway. So, 2 nautical miles, 3,000, we're basically right on the profile.
Barometric selected.
Looking just right. So it was nice and it was overcast leaving St. John's, then over the clouds, nice and sunny. Now we're back. Aircraft's initiating turn to Gabop to line up with Vokil, which will be our final approach fix. So it's game time. This is when the pilots wake up. Have a look here. 4 nautical miles, Vokil, 3,000 or above. Check. 200 knots. Check. In 1 sec. So let's reduce speed to 200 knots. And as we cross this, we're going to put up another notch of flaps.
We call my 8 France 1555, thank you very much.
So let's bring out another notch of flaps, flaps 5, so that we can continue to lower our speed. Aircraft should be making a turn onto Voco, and then we'll be on final. Don't quite have the runway in sight yet, but we'll see. So 3,000 above, so you don't want to do anything. Sometimes you really got to respect this. In this case, the land is flat, but this could be for terrain, and if you go too low, you could just fly yourself into the side of the mountain. It happens all the time. So we're just getting past Vocal. So let's bring the altitude down to 1800, which is the profile we want at Dasta. And now we're going to slow down the aircraft to around 107 knots. Slowly. Let's bring out like 170 knots. So we have the runway in sight. We'll fly the visual. Just bring that speed down. So it's going to want to go down to about 180 knots before pitching the nose down, if you're wondering why the aircraft isn't already descending. Since I reduced the speed, it bleeds off the speed first, and then it starts to pitch the nose down. We get a bit closer through the landing, bring on the lights. Ask the purser to do that PA.
Sir,
now.
your microphone is off.
How can I help you?
Said no before, don't we? Landing.
Please make the announcement.
By no means.
She's just so angry today, I don't know what. Okay, so slowly reduce speed to 170. We're gonna pull the air brake here, but just far back so it says armed. So when we hit the ground, there's the sensor when the wheels touch the runway and detects weight on the aircraft, the spoilers are automatically deployed. So now we're about on final here, we're approaching Dasta. We're looking good, we have the runway in sight. We're gonna reduce speed to our approach speed, which is about, our ref is down here. So let's do that. Let's bring out flaps 15. Aircraft will pitch up just for a brief second, then come back down. Then let's fly it by hand. Bring off the auto throttles. Let's bring off the autopilot. We've got the sticks. So now bring up some thrusts. I bring about like 40% engine.
Approaching
and
3,
then we just want to keep the descent smooth.
7,800
Look far down the runway.
feet available.
Try to stay aligned with the purple triangle.
Caution, short runway, short runway.
So this is a short runway. There's not a lot of 777s coming into Halifax, so we're going to try to hit the threshold as early as possible, and then we'll engage maximum reverse thrusters, and then see if we can land before the end. So now I'm going to pull back on the throttles. 168 is still a lot. We're going to bring out the rest of our flaps, go down to flaps 30.
1,000.
1,000. Bring out the landing gear. My God, that was close. Trim the nose down there. This is a really short runway. For 777. Can we do it?
Terrain. Pull up.
We're gonna have to.
Terrain.
It's a fast landing for sure.
Sink rate. 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 Sink rate.
Bit of
sink
rudder.
rate. Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate.
20. 10.
We're on the ground. We're gonna engage maximum reverse thrusters. Maximum toe braking.
2,000 feet remaining.
That was slick. Okay, we'll take the reverse thrusters off, grab the nose wheel tiller, steer it off the runway. It's a bit fast. Hot. That's good. It's a good
Have a
one.
cell call on your flight plan. What's your cell call?
Definitely.
Cell call is Juliet. Romeo.
So he's probably gonna have us backtrack to land the runway here. Air Canada 11 Heavy, we're on the ground. I'm assuming you want us to backtrack the runway.
Okay,
Heavy, is the taxiway on your left?
We needed full length. I'll take the next right, actually. I just did the U-turn. There's no taxiway on my scenery there.
11, yeah, if you don't have a taxiway in your sim, then just backtrack 14 hotel.
Roger, thank you very much. Alright, so we are on the ground. Short runway, we made it happen. So we'll just taxi to the gate here. We'll pick a number. Let's take this one. Usually in real life they have people on the ground helping you turn into the gate, so I'm not ashamed of doing it from the outside here just to get lined up. Always go overshoot the line a bit and then come back. These large airliners, bring the spoilers back, bring the flaps up. We still have hydraulic pressure. Apply some brakes here. And just slide right up. There we go. Now that we have our APU on, that's the beauty of things. Put the parking brake. We can immediately shut down the engines. Bring the trim back. That's the person.
How can I help you? Would you like something?
You may allow the passengers to deplane.
Of course. Passengers are deplaning.
That worked out just fine. Auto brakes off. Outside doors open. With the stairs, passengers are coming off. We can take our landing lights off now. Get the aircraft ready shortly for potentially another flight. Hydraulics can come off now. Fuel pump can come off for now. I'll leave these lights on. The electrical systems on the EPU will leave that on. The air will leave that on. The window heat, we can turn that off for now. Anti-ice can come off. Obviously the seat belts. If you look here at the loading, you see passengers are coming off the aircraft. Get flight directors off. And let's make contact with the ground crew.
Hello, this is the captain.
Hi, Captain. Hear you loud and clear.
So now that we've made contact with ground, we can have them connect ground power, the shocks for the front wheel, connect
Make your choice.
units to keep air in the aircraft,
Primary GPU.
and then have them unload the luggage, and then have like the catering and the water restocked for the next flight. So if we go out here, you can see all this equipment that's about to get queued up. Those hatches on the side need to come off. So if you go back here, doors, have those guys.
Please open the hatch.
Open those doors.
Certainly.
The rest of the doors can stay armed. We can only use just the front door to unload all the passengers. So that's pretty much it. Gate to gate. Halifax to St. John, and then a leg of St. John back to Halifax. Safe and sound, good landings on both. I'll be turning the stream off and taking just a short break, and then we'll probably be back with some night flights. I saw a few viewers up on the screen. If anyone was there watching, then I hope it was fun. we're just getting started off, and we'll be doing more of this. I'm flying anyways, so I might as well just click the button and stream it. So that's that. Back in Halifax. Thanks for tuning in.